We are live. Let's do this. Playing some Kamal and Akroma today. Today's deck list comes to us from Patreon supporter Jason. So much ramp? Yeah, this is a ramp deck. This deck will do some ramping. Anyway, we're up in the turn order here. What do we got? We got a Wasteland, we got a that, we got a that. We'll just play this thing first, I guess. And we will pass turn like that. The final love stream? More like the final live stream. I'm hoping I didn't misspell something somewhere, because that does happen from time to time. Welcome, everyone. Looks like the house is filling up. There's a Lemor Elves from opponent. Excuse me one second. Didn't quite clear the throat before I started. Two finishers in the command zone. This is going to be fun. Absolutely. You know, I'm starting to think that, like, all you really need in this deck is, like, lands, ramp, and removal. You probably don't need other creatures. It just, yeah, these two by themselves, really, really powerful. Now, they're expensive to get in play, but if you can get them to stick, then just insanity. This is all the damage you need between these two, so. What kind of mana do we have? We have double green already. Maybe we should set up for some double white, so we'll get a plains right here. And we'll pass like that. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, Tara. You hope Oracle of Moldiah gets in there with Sword of the Animist? Me too. Nothing like going beats with Oracle of Moldiah. Whenever I need to think of an ability creature that has, like, no combat value, Oracle of Moldiah is the first thing that comes to mind. Like, you're not going to attack with it, you're not going to block with it unless there's some sort of circumstances like this going on. So yes, this is going to be the final live stream. I'll talk about it a little bit more in a moment. The short version for right now is that I'm rejoining the workforce next week, and I will have a full-time job, so do need to scale back a little bit. But I'm going to wait for a few more people to pile in, and then we'll kind of go through all of it. Beating face with Oracle is just disrespectful? I don't think I've ever won a game with an Oracle of Moldiah attack. Maybe that needs to go on the to-do list at some point. What's this? Oh, it's a Bloodghast. New art. Haven't seen that one. Love Bloodghast, though. Such a cool card. Used to use it a lot back in the day, and I just kind of stopped playing black decks. I don't play black decks as much as I used to. Kind of got sick of them. They're very linear, very repetitive. The tutors mean that you do the same thing every single time, so just kind of got away from them. Anyway, back to our turn. There's our fourth land. Let's play this Oracle of Moldiah. Pray for land off the top. It is not a land off the top. It is a Zendikar Resurgent. We'll play a Temple Garden tapped. Oh, we have a Cultivate in hand? Didn't even notice. Next turn we'll Cultivate. Maybe Cultivate and Sword if we have the mana. That seems like a lot of mana. Takes 7 to do that. We probably need to get a little lucky to make both of those happen. I feel like we can center this camera better. I'm going to recenter the camera. I don't like where it's at right now. I feel a little bit better about that. Slight improvement. No one saw that. That's all behind the scenes streamer stuff. Eric says, pour one out for PJ Streams. Rip 2021 to 2021. Actually, give me a moment. I'm going to find out just when my first stream was, because they've actually been going like longer than I think we all think they have. Like, it seems like it's a fairly recent thing, but let's find out when my first stream actually occurred. Got a button over here. You guys can't see it. I'm doing it on the other machine, but live. My first stream was in July of 2020, which means I've been doing this for what, 9 months, roughly, streaming? A little bit of a break, didn't stream much in August, but very consistent since October. So like a very consistent 6 months of streaming. There were some leaks about Strixhaven. Apparently, white gets a draw 3. Yeah, I saw that when I woke up this morning, and you can go check my Twitter comments. I hadn't had any caffeine yet, and I was a little grumpy this morning, so I just immediately assumed the worst. Draw 3, you lose the game at your next end step. Or your opponents draw 3, drop 3, and they drop 3 permanents into play. Something like that. Oh god, what's going on over here? Opponent's doing stuff. Alright, that's a Viscera Seer. That's a Bantu the Glorified. Their commanders are Kodama and Tormod the Desecrator. That seems like a pretty strong deck, actually. We probably shouldn't, like, lollygag on them. If we find some removal, should probably place it in their direction. Mana Reflection on top. Oh. Well, I think we're going to cultivate. Shuffle it away. Draw 3, lose a kidney. Yeah, I was thinking something along those lines, too. Draw 3, opponent punches you in the groin really hard. Each opponent gets to punch you. Something like that. How much green do we have? There is an Emeria in this deck, so we want to think about Emeria also. Although there's not a lot of planes. Is there enough planes in this deck to trigger Emeria? That's a question. Put a planes into play. 1 into hand. We do not have a land on top of our deck. Play the planes. Play a Sword of the Animist. Make this window a bit smaller. And we'll pass like that. Probably move that away. Oh god. Probably move that away from my face a little bit. Assemble the Akroma? Thanks, champ. I will do my best. You think it'll be on the level of Divine Gambit? Which one is that? Is that the really bad removal spell? Oh, that's a Mutilate? No. No. I guess the board wipe needs to happen because Viscera Seer's kind of broken. It's like, gotta be one of the strongest 1-drops, right? Facilitates so many combos. But sadly, we will lose our Oracle of Moldiah, which we were, planning to go on Oracle of Moldiah beats with the Sword of the Animist, but not today, apparently. Maybe we shouldn't be too sad, as we can just, like, drop a Zendikar Resurgent and hope it sticks. Doesn't seem awful. I guess maybe we go Avenger first, because that'll probably get some removal out of people's hands. But Mutilate, going to clean some stuff up. Mutilate, a board wipe that I really like, but obviously you can only really run it in mono black. I need to play more mono black. Opponent's playing Josu Vest today. That's Mango. Josu Vest, one that I liked. If you dig back in the channel, definitely did a bunch of videos on it. Actually built it in paper. I think it's still together right now, but haven't played it in ages. I kind of built mine to be spiky in paper, and then I haven't played with that play group in a long time. There's definitely the... what's the one? Hypnotic something or other that makes him discard a bunch of cards. Definitely got one of those in there. So that's like a don't need to be doing that everywhere all the time kind of thing. Ooh, opponent lost all their ramp when the creatures got blown up there. They're playing Lathril Blade of Elves. This deck can really come out swinging. The board wipe is definitely going to slow them down a lot, but I've seen the Lathril decks get off to some really fast starts, similar to the way that many elf decks do. It's kind of weird. Like, elves are in this weird place of, like, most elves make mana, so half of your tribe produces more mana for you, which is kind of insane. So yeah, it can just come out swinging really, really hard, and glad there's a board wipe there just to slow things down, because that'll buy us the time that we need, I think. Our final opponent, by the way, is Maru Powell piloting Kodama and Tormod. Tormod's in play. Whenever one or more creatures leaves your graveyard, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. And Kodama says go infinite with basically any card ever printed. Brings back to our turn. There's a Shalai, Voice of Plenty. We got some choices here. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think we try the Avenger. Avenger will definitely do a little removal check, and then next turn, some combination, I don't know, Harmonize, Kamahl, we'll just kind of figure it out and see what happens. I'm going to grab a sip, and then we'll talk about the final live stream. So, we have a reasonably full house. So yes, this is going to be the final live stream. I am rejoining the workforce on Monday. I will be a software QA for an insurance company. So I need to scale back the amount of time I can spend doing content. Streaming isn't really a core thing that I've done on this channel. And, it's just kind of like a nice little thing on the side. And, I'm only going to have so many hours in the week that I can devote to content. Probably some number between 10 and 20 hours, hopefully closer to 10. So I got to cut somewhere, and streaming is one of the things that I'm going to have to give up just to be able to keep the channel going and like not completely hate myself for overworking, essentially working 2 jobs. So I've kind of done the 2 full-time jobs thing in the past when I was doing the channel a couple years ago, and I was working full-time, and it was not fun. So this time around, I got to be a little bit more conscious about, just how much time I can spend doing stuff. I'm going to be utilizing some editors this time as well. Overall, I'm still looking to do about 3 videos a week. So video-wise, slight decrease, but should still be, fairly consistent. But there probably won't be weeks with like 4 and 5 videos in them, just because I don't think I'll have enough time to do that. Now, depending on how things shape up, maybe around set releases, you can probably throw an extra video out there and, hire another editor and do that kind of stuff. So I'm still going to be feeling it out and seeing exactly what I can do and exactly how much time everything's going to take. But, the unfortunate thing with content creation is it just takes a lot of time. And even doing this full time, it's insane how quickly a week runs out. You're like, wow, I had 10 things I wanted to do this week. I got 6 of them done. And, if that stuff rolls over into next week, you just have more to do. And eventually you fall behind. And it's a thing. It's a thing. So anyway, yes. Like I said, I need to cut back on just the amount of time I can spend doing content stuff. So there won't be any more live streams for the foreseeable future. If things turn around, if I have more time, if, I don't know, some magical set of events happen, then I may be able to do more streaming in the future. But for now, streaming is going to kind of go by the wayside, just since it's not really what this channel is built upon. I'm not really a streamer, even though I like doing it. I like getting a chance to interact with you guys. All that stuff's really cool. But, I'm a YouTuber first, and the edited content is really what kind of keeps things running for me. So that's what I'll be doing. Opponent did blow up our land, which is pretty annoying, quite honestly. Doom Necromancer hit us with a strip mine, blew up our wasteland. Potentially trying to protect a land of their own that they may play in a turn or two. Gonna send the 4/6 our way. Do we just, you know what? There's going to be a lot of life loss in this deck. You know what? I'll trade 2 tokens to just not lose a bunch of life. This looks like an aristocrat style deck, and with aristocrat style decks, keeping your life total high is very key, because they can get a lot of life loss into you without actually needing to attack, and super annoying. Speaking of all that, I'm supposed to play a game tomorrow morning with Jolt539, who I haven't played with in a very long time. And I'm not sure where that content will be coming out, but that'll be coming out somewhere. So Speaking of aristocrats and hopefully not getting crushed by aristocrats, I'm excited to play a game with him tomorrow. So hopefully that turns out to be really cool. We draw a Smothering Tithe. Oh, this is all very interesting. Let's see. We can go Sword Smothering Tithe. Seems kind of reasonable. Yeah, I think that makes sense. The other option is Harmonize. Harmonize Sword is the other way to go. Harmonize Sword potentially gets us 2 lands. Yeah, maybe we do that instead. Smothering Tithe next turn, probably. This deck, though, full of gas. A lot of really cool stuff going on. Yeah, there's some lands we got. Oh, Reshape the Earth. That's a cool card. Haven't played that one yet, but that seems really powerful. Let's play a land. Get a landfall trigger. Go always yes. Equip a sword onto a Avenger of Zendikar. It's a 6/6. Go to combat. I think we send a little into Maru. We'll poke Mango real quick also. Leave a couple back just so we don't get steamrolled by stuff. There's a Sword of the Animus trigger. Get another land. We'll keep getting the plains. Just let's get a forest right here. Just make sure we have enough green mana. Do everything. Rifa says, in the past, Elf Ball's weakness was just lack of good card draw, but yeah, green has gotten all the card draw over the past 5 years. When I did that stream with Benny, or not a stream, it was the podcast, episode 2 of the Commander Replay podcast, we talked about what Commander looked like 10 years ago, and the only thing green was really missing 10 years ago was card draw, and in the past 5 or so years, they've really pushed green card draw, and that's kind of the thing that's pushed green over the top, because obviously they have the mana ramp, and the creatures are generally good too. Like Avenger of Zendikar has just been really good for a really long time, amongst many other things. Opponent plays a Living Death, uses it as a board wipe. We get our Oracle of Moldiah back. Ooh, and they get a Villas? That's kind of gross. Ugh. And with that, it looks like they could shoot our Oracle, which I would not love. Brings back the Viscera Seer. Well, that was a turn of events. I mean, I guess they kind of had to. If we play this thing next turn, then like all of those tokens are lethal. Just lethal. Oh, they're going to shoot the Viscera Seer. That's a good idea, which means our Oracle probably gets to survive a turn, and there's a second land for us, so that's cool. Definitely like that. What up, Jack? Holiday streams? You owe us an ugly sweater Christmas stream? Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, it's not to say I won't be able to stream ever. I just won't be able to do it regularly. So, you know, if there's like something cool going on, we get some cool people together, and I don't know, maybe we can do like a special one-off kind of thing, but definitely won't be able to do the regular streaming schedule that I've been doing. Yeah, I wasn't paying super close attention, champ. I was kind of going through my long spiel of stuff there. So, final parting, Living Death into the Villas into the graveyard, Living Death, get it back. Not a bad set of plays. Not a bad set of plays. I'd probably do something very similar. This is probably your second favorite Selesnya deck. This is a really cool pair. I really like what these guys bring. If you just want to go like super big, have just all the late game punch in the world, this is it. Turning a bunch of lands into creatures with Kamahl and then having Akroma on the battlefield just means they will be massive. Thank you to everyone for the congratulations. I do appreciate it. I was actually looking for a job for about a year. I interviewed at this place twice, almost a year apart, and finally got the job the second time. So it definitely got a lot harder with the virus happening, and the economy kind of going to crap. That's Beast Whisper. Those are good. Really good in an Elves deck. I'm going to be a software QA for an insurance company. Very similar to what I was doing in the past. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about them giving answers to. I'm reading something in chat. I don't know how I feel about them giving answers to enchantments in mono black. Don't love it. Don't love it. Like, mono black is another color that does not have a lot of weakness. And enchantments is one of those things. It's like, okay, you draw, you tutor, you have removal, you have combos, you have win conditions. Like, maybe, there should be like one thing that you should be like not the best at. And artifact and enchantment removal is generally it, at least in the sense of like they have to rely on colorless cards that are, and usually the colorless stuff is a little more, it's not mana efficient. Ugin is very expensive. All His Dust is an expensive play to make, so there's some cost there. Well, Kodama's in play. Get ready for wild stuff to start happening. There's a Sun Titan. Sun Titan's cool. What does Sun Titan get us? That would get us back our Wasteland, and that's it at the moment. We could cycle a Shattered Groves, but I don't know. What are we doing? What are we doing? 6, 7. Yeah, that's not the worst thing I've heard of. Let's go Zendikar Resurgent. One more. Play the Savannah. I'm gonna get a little wild and try to cycle this Shattered Groves. I'm gonna cycle this Scatter Groves, sorry. Because I want the Sun Titan in hand, and we can potentially get that back with the Sun Titan, which I like. And there's the land off the top. It worked. Beautiful. Ooh, a flawless maneuver. Sadly, that'll get shuffled away if we attack right here. Although, well, we have 4 mana, so I'm just going to play Shalou. Do we play Smothering Tithe instead? Yeah, there's a Villas in play. Let's play a Smothering Tithe instead. What up, Matt? Thank you. Appreciate it. No safe attacks. We will pass the turn. Oh, by the way, so Jason said this is a deck by Patreon supporter Jason. Been a long-time supporter of the channel, so thanks, Jason. I appreciate it. But he sent me this list, and we're playing it today. I made a couple changes. Overall, it's in pretty good shape. The only thing that it's a little bit light on removal, so I added a route. I think I added one other thing, if I'm not mistaken. The only thing it needs a little bit more removal, and it needs just like a little bit more consistent card draw, I think. There was a Lifecrafter's Bestiary in here, which is a fine card, but I just went for Rishkar's Expertise instead. Yeah, honestly, like I'm not super up on like my green card draw in the sense of like knowing the perfect choice for every single deck, just because I haven't been playing as much green like that lately. So obviously Rishkar's is good. I know there's been some other stuff recently like Beast Whisperer. This probably isn't a Beast Whisperer deck. But yeah, just getting some really consistent card draw in the deck is going to be good. A few more removal spells are going to make sure that you don't get steamrolled by stuff. That's kind of the big stuff. Otherwise, all of the interactions in the deck look pretty good. Oh, I think I added one kind of fun card. Added Kamahl's Druidic Vow, which has the ability to dump lands into play. It hits legendary permanents also, which there aren't a ton of in the deck, but I think just the ability to get a bunch of lands off the top is really good. Although, you probably could just go Genesis Wave. Oh, Genesis Wave's already in there. So, yeah. It's basically just a cheaper, worse Genesis Wave for the most part. Do you need 2? Maybe you don't need 2, but I just decided to jam it in there because I've definitely seen it do work and stuff like Captain Sisay. So maybe it's not the best. That could probably be another removal spell since Genesis Wave's already in there. But it's just another way to dump a whole bunch of lands into play. Wolverine Riders for opponent. That card gets out of hand. Do I have experience in my new role? Yeah, I was a software BA and QA for about 5 years for an insurance company at a different place. So yeah, they hired me on on the strength of me having a lot of experience doing what I'm doing. So I should be able to like jump in very quickly and everything should be very comfortable. And that's what I'm hoping on anyway. That was a finisher in your Sisay deck. Yeah, it's really good there. It'll be less good in this deck, but still just the ability, if you can dump a bunch of mana into it, get a bunch of lands, even hitting like 3 or 4 lands with it, really, really good. But, there might be other ways to get that too, like Reshape the Earth is a really interesting looking card. Boundless Realms is a card that could be a Boundless Realm slot, or it could be a removal slot, which this deck, like I said, is a little bit light on. One of those have a Phyrexian Reclamation in play, so if they lose anything, they can get it back. That's always a helpful thing to have around. Drinks in your Fleet Wheel Cruiser have arrived. So Ramonop comes in. Opponent's going to get a Kodama trigger. They drop a land in. I wish this card was about 25% less good. It's a little bit too strong. That ability needs to trigger just a little bit less. Probably even something as simple as permanent with lesser mana cost only. Equal, I think, is a problem. Equal means lands. Opponent's going to activate the War Room. Yep. Kodama trigger. Get that value going. You don't need removal if you're the threat. Yeah, the problem with that, that is largely true. However, the problem with that becomes people can always be faster than you because of the presence of Soul Ring and Mana Crypt. The way that ramp works in this format means that you can't guarantee that you're going to be faster than someone all the time. And when that happens, you just need removal. It's not to say you need tons and tons of it, but you want 10 to 12 pieces. I'm about 12 these days for most of my decks. Just for a standard mid-power type of build. And that makes it so if someone has a fast start, you should be able to draw into an answer reasonably timely and deal with whatever they're doing. I personally don't like non-games. So running a bit more removal prevents you from having a non-game generally. Because someone has that fast start, shoot their thing. If you can hit them with a Volcanic Offering, shoot your commander, shoot your land. That'll slow them down a ton and gives you plenty of time to do whatever you want to do. Opponent making all the elves over there seems good. Swords of Plowshares on top. That's a good one. What are we doing this turn? We have doubled mana. We could probably do a lot of things. So the only thing we need to worry about is Toxic Deluge type of removal, which is certainly a thing. Although Villas might be able to shoot a Shalai, which isn't the best. But yeah, I don't know. I think let's get the Shalai in play. Start there. Zendikar Resurgent. We'll draw a card. There's a Canopy Vista. Those are cool. Can play a land off the top. Yeah, also, if Kodama only triggered once a turn, that would also be a reasonably fair way to deal with that. Rishkar's Expertise. That's a pretty good one. Let's play this Kamahl. The mana cost on this thing really doesn't feel too bad. If You have Zendikar Resurgent in play. Helps a lot. Ooh, that's a Rishkar's Expertise. Yeah. Sylvan Awakening on top. How much mana do we have left? Still quite a bit, honestly. I think I'm going to hold the Sun Titan just in case things go wrong. It's a really good backup creature. I don't usually like to lead on Sun Titan just because it draws removal, and if you can get it to stick, it's the type of thing that can, like, more or less win you the game on its own. So take a 7 for Akroma. What do you guys think? Rishkar's Expertise? That would draw us 5? Or maybe we wait. Maybe we wait. Let's get Akroma. Ramp deck doing ramp stuff. We draw a card. There's the Sylvan Awakening. Mangara on top. Sword on... They all have Summoning Sickness. And that being the case... Yeah, we could probably live without a Sword of the Animus trigger this turn, even though I do really like it. I'll just put it on the Kamahl. Nah, we can wait. We'll just leave the mana up because we have swords and flawless maneuver. And if someone draws a million cards for some reason, we can always get busy with Shalai, which is also cool. Ooh, there's the +3/+3. Maybe we risk ours in the second main. Oh, totally did that wrong. They gain trample. We'll get it right next time. Got to reverse the sequence on those. Well, now it's a 10-10. Now do we just play the Rishkar's Expertise? That eats all of our mana, though. Wouldn't love that. Oh, it's a 6/6. Oh, yeah, we could have attacked with it. Still a lot of stuff over there. Yeah, we'll just pass like that. Next turn, opponent's got to fire some removal at us because we are set up. A lot of things don't feel bad with doubled mana. Sisay, Weatherlight Captain, is still really mana hungry, even when your mana is doubled. I've had quadruple mana with, like, Feast and Famine and Mirari's Wake with that deck, and still not enough mana. Like, if everyone's focusing you, you're just like, I'm not getting the things... I can't activate this card enough times right now. Pretty okay turn? Yeah, I would say so. What's opponent shooting? -1/-1 on the Bloodghast. Yeah, Sisay is like the most mana-hungry commander ever. Opponent's got a Mox Tanthalite ticking down. Play Reshape the Earth? Soon. Very soon. There's supposed to be some landfall stuff in here. We lost one of them with the Avenger going down. If we find another landfall, then, yeah. Do opponents have removal? That is the question. What up, Supra? I am rejoining the workforce next week, and I'm not going to have enough time to stream and do regular content, so we're cutting back on the streaming. Meteor Golem, this is definitely going to hit one of our things. Is there any way to protect any of our stuff? Nope. This is creatures only? Creatures only. Zendikar Resurgent going to go down. That is a step in the right direction. Akroma trigger, because the Akroma triggers every turn. And it's pretty awesome. Yay for Selesnya. Yep. We doing Selesnya things. No blue or red in this game. Yeah, that's a good point. Only a 3-color game. No, I think there's... Yeah, green, black, black, green, black, white, green. Yeah. 3-color game. It's always nice when you can eliminate, like, Cyclonic Rift from the possibility of things that can happen. And, like, most counter spells. Actually, I think all of them, basically all of them now, because red has most of the other ones. White has a couple, but black has the one. I forget, is it non-creatures or creatures? I can't remember what Withering Boon gets. What up? Yeah, we basically played a lot of really good cards this game. Avenger, Zendikar, Zendikar Resurgent, Smothering Tithe, all the ramp. Did you guys know that Time Spiral Remastered came out today? I made a quick stop to the shop earlier, and they were super busy. And apparently it released today. I had no idea, because I haven't been following it that closely. But let's see. Let's see if I can show the one pickup here on camera. If I can find it. Pact of the Serpent. What's this do? Choose a creature type. Target player draws X cards and loses X life, or X the number of creatures they control. Okay. Card draw spell. We got one of these. Hopefully this focuses. I'm not looking at the camera, and it's not going to show up in my monitor until a few seconds later. But we got the pretty Stoneforge Mystic. Yeah. Slightly off center. I think we need to come this way. This way. Yep. Nope. Wrong way. Wrong way. This way. It's definitely this way. Anyway, you guys get the idea. Made a little purchase for myself. Got the pretty Stoneforge. Pretty excited about it. I would like to get the Double Master's swords eventually as well, but you know, we got to wait for some paychecks to actually come in before we do that. So But anyway, yeah, I was at the shop. It was crazy busy. And I'm like, what's going on? Everyone's picking up boxes of Time Spiral Remastered. I'm like, oh, apparently that's today. I had completely just like not paid attention to what was going on in that set. Oh, opponent's trying to kill our thing? So they've got 3 triggers on Shalai right now. We can... How many tokens do we have? We have a lot. We have 10 tokens. Well, you want to play this game, opponent. We can... Smothering Tithe, apparently really good against Vilis. We can pump everything up with the Shalai ability, so we'll go ahead and do that. Make sure they don't kill it. Put a +1/+1 counter on each creature we control. Am I planning to buy any boxes or cards? Just singles. I want to get a lot of the Double Master stuff. There's still a few extra copies of things I want to get from Commander Legends as well. So, you know, being a content creator is a financially unstable thing to do. And it's kind of weird in that, like, you know, I talk about a lot of the cards on camera, but in reality, haven't been able to afford a lot of them in paper. So I get to play them online, which is nice. But yeah, just a lot of good stuff that came out in the past year that I had to kind of skip making purchases on. So Double Masters, get some of the swords. There's some other stuff too. Like I need to get a Mana Echoes for my Allies deck, and they're actually not too bad right now because they got reprinted in Double Masters. So you know, random stuff like that. Cards that were expensive that have come down that'll probably go back up if they don't reprint them for a couple years. I'd like to pick up and just make sure I have a copy or two, so if I need to use them, that sort of stuff. But as far as boxes of Time Spiral, no, I don't really buy boxes of sets anymore for the most part. It's usually I want the singles. I want the singles of the cards I need, and I don't really want to have to store more cards that I don't need. It gets overwhelming. So I have plenty of boxes over there that cards I'm not using. We have a lot of treasures again. We can pump things more if we want to. You want to get the Judge promo of Elishnorn to go with the Vorinclex? Yeah, the what's it called? Phyrexian writing one is really cool. They're a lot cheaper than they used to be, which is pretty sweet too, but that's still probably a little out of the price range for me. I don't know. I don't need a $250 card or whatever it's at now. I forget the exact price, but they are expensive enough that it is out of my range. Also, I think I have two Elish Norns and one of them is being used and I think the other one isn't, so as good as it is, I've got a backlog of Elish Norns right now. Did I hear about the unverified leak in Strixhaven? I did not. Since it's unverified, I will not comment on it. I guess I've already commented on it, but I will not comment further on it. At that price range, you're better off getting a baller artist proof or something like that. Yeah, that's kind of my thing too. You start getting north of like 50 or $100 for a card, and it's like, well, I can hire an altar artist for $100 and get something really cool. Like you can, whatever the cost of Phyrexian Elish Norn is, you can get an altar of that way cheaper. What is this? Elvish Elyrist. Sacrifice it, destroy target enchantment. That's pretty good for a 1/1. Enchantment removal is enchantment removal. Smothering Tithe, probably not long for this world. It is doing some work on this current state. So what do? We turn all of our lands into indestructible 2/2s next turn, and then go to combat? Seems like everything that we need to do to have success here. Jim says, keep reprinting Swords of X and Y. This is the way? Yeah. I just don't think... They can't reprint Feast and Famine enough times right now. It's too important. It's too strong in this format. It's too strong in other formats. Fire and Ice, I don't think has ever gone below like $40. Not that I can remember anyway. Even the other swords, I think Sinew and Steel is finally creeping up. I think Truth and Justice was, if I'm not mistaken, is like 20. So even some of those I'd like to see... the ones that you don't use as much. The ones that I would put in a deck because I can't afford Feast and Famine and Fire and Ice for every deck, I'd like to see those ones come down. I think even War and Peace probably isn't as cheap as I'd like it. I forget what Light and Shadow's at. Those cards are just, they always hold value. Yeah, buying cards is cool, but no one's wallet likes buying cards, so definitely feel that. A Sword Secret Lair would be amazing. Yeah, they'd probably charge like $250 for it. How much do they charge for the Fetch Land one? Probably more than that. Tormod the Desecrator coming in. Man, we have some mana to our name, huh? 15 tokens. Feel pretty good about that. Sword of the Animus is 13. Yeah, those have gotten expensive. Like, it's just a good card all the time. Even green decks. Like, people are like, oh, green ramps. Yeah, there's still no reason not to run it. You can basically guarantee land drops with it. Even when you run out of lands in hand, which green decks do. Like, if you don't hit your card draw the right way, you will run out of lands in hand. We don't have any right now. And, this just makes sure that you're always getting a land. So you're either ahead or not falling behind. And those are both really good things to be doing. Tormod and Kodama trigger. The fetch land one was like $250. Yeah. The sword, if they did a sword secret lair, it'd probably be in that range too. Although right now I think there's 8 swords if you count Sword of Dungeons and Dragons. So like they haven't done a secret layer that big. And I'd be sad if they just like obviously they could like pick the 5 best ones, but that means that a couple are getting left off and that would be sad. I'd rather just see them do all 8. And for $250, they should probably just do all 8 and give us Sword of Dungeons and Dragons in black border. Because that's a cool card, and I'd like to use it without having to have the silver border conversation. Just not worry about it. You're fairly new to MTGO, and the cost differences quickly made you wonder why you hadn't tried it before. Yeah, MTGO is great because it's cheap. It's not exactly the same as playing Paper Commander with your friends. Like, you lose some of the social stuff, and I definitely recommend getting your own like play group. Obviously, like we have the Discord, and the Discord is awesome, and we're able to get really high quality games and like have a pretty good time and not hate each other. Playing open games on Magic Online, I did some the other night because I hadn't played them in a while, and I'm like, wow, this is awful. I don't think any game went past turn 6. Like, it was just horrendous. Stitch together for opponent. So yeah, see if you can find a playgroup somewhere. You can, be that my Discord via Patreon or anyone else's, whatever the case is. That'll definitely make your Magic Online experience much better. But just the card acquisition on Magic Online is incredible. It's cheaper. You only need 1 copy, and if you want to test some random common from a set from 25 years ago, you can get it instantly. You don't have to wait for it to ship, which is all really cool stuff. For just like the actual like play elements and like trying to put a deck together and like manage a deck, Magic Online is so good for that. And also like if to build a deck of Magic Online takes me probably 20 to 40 minutes, depending on like how wild I get with it. To build a deck in paper for me takes like 4 hours because it's just sifting through boxes and having to put stuff back afterwards. And the card management is really time consuming. And sure, like I'm not the most efficient with my card storage, but I could probably cut that time down a little bit. But yeah, my ability to like build quickly on Magic Online is beautiful. Like if it took me 4 hours to build a deck every time on Magic Online, I wouldn't be able to put out like 3 to 5 videos a week. That would just not happen. All right, that's enough jabber. I think it's coming back to our turn, and we are in very good shape. We can probably win this turn if we do things right. This is going to be the turn. Wolverine Riders. Opponent gaining a thing. I actually wonder if we're able to make enough bodies. I don't know if we're going to be able to make enough bodies right here. Play the Misty Rainforest. Here's a Raminop Excavator. So I think we play this because this just makes everything. They'll have reach, indestructible, and haste. That's a big deal. Okay, so crack the Misty. Oh, we have enough to do that first? Oh, they come in tapped. Yeah, maybe we should have. Until your next turn, lands you control become 2/2s with reach, haste, and indestructible. Yeah. Maybe we should have played that last turn and did all this stuff this turn. Whoever said that was probably right. Play this forest off the top. Here's the Scavenger Grounds. Out of land drops. Yeah, the fact that they come in tapped is not the most ideal. But, I mean, we can probably kill like 2 or 3 players right here. So, we should probably do that. Play this Sylvan Awakening. We have a whole bunch of 2/2 lands. Anything else that we need to do? I don't think so. I think we just go to combat. I guess we can equip the sword somewhere. Put it on the flyer. Why not? That seems like it makes sense. Go to combat. Akroma on the bottom this time, like a professional. Kamahl going to give everything +3/+3 and trample. Akroma going to make everything a 10/10. Yeah. Seems really good. Do some attacking. Opponent's going to tick down our Shalai slightly. It's going to give us more Smothering Tithe thingies. And actually, those 2 treasures are going to be enough to activate this 2 more times. Opponent has, what's that, 11 worth of toughness over there. So it's 11 toughness plus 19 life. That's exactly 30, if my math is right. And this is exactly 30. Send a bunch to poison. They have a lot of creatures out, so they'll be able to block pretty well, I think. Although they are 1/1s. That's 60. That's 70. That should be plenty. Swing into Maru. Sword of the Animus trigger. Get a land. Farseek on top. Activate Shalai. Activate Shalai. Do it again. Actually, cancel that. Hold up the flawless maneuver just in case. That should be easy lethal. This should do it. Let's start talking about game 2. Who's up for game 2? What deck do we want to see in game 2? Flawless plays for free. Oh, yeah, that's right. I still think this is going to be plenty either way, but... Meme deck, Boros. Rograk and Arden, Commander Hammer Time. That's probably a little strong, honestly. The list I have for that is like almost CEDH. Dimir? I can't even think of a Dimir. I have Rexiel. Rexiel is like, I think, my lone Dimir deck. Knights, Orvar. Yeah, there's a lot of damage. How much life do opponents have? That's like 30, that's like 40, 60, plus 20. Opponents have about 80 life amongst them and probably 30 or 40 toughness. Yeah, we're probably doing about 120 without trying to do all the counting. Tap Tribal? You want Tap Tribal? That's a silly deck. 3-color Sunforger? Actually, I was working on that the other day. The video didn't quite turn out, so I don't know if we'll see it. Oh yeah, we killed opponents by a lot. Yeah, this deck's in pretty good shape. So Jason had some questions about, just the deck kind of. He hasn't played it much, so he was trying to figure out what tweaks need to be made. A little bit more removal. Like I said, I added a route just to have something, and just card draw other things. So like I added this Druidic Vow. This could be a card draw slot. It could be a removal slot. Basically whatever you want right there. I thought like I got rid of like what's it called? Wood Elves, and Wood Elves is a very good card, no doubt, but it doesn't do that much for setting up like your later stuff. So like, I'm all about the Cultivate, Kodama's Reach, Nissa's Pilgrimage, that sort of life where you're getting your land drop and you've got your next one. You may want one or two Sky Shroud Claim type things. Things that get multiple lands are going to be really valuable for this deck. So yeah, card draw removal I think is just the kind of the big stuff. But yeah, opponents ran out of removal right here, and we just ramped into Oblivion and killed the table on one swing. So it's in pretty good shape. But those are the little things that I would work on just to kind of bring it to the next level. All right, let's figure out what deck we're playing. Rafik of the Many? Oh yeah, that's been a while. Yidris, you want me to play Yidris Ogre Tribal? Because I don't think I have a normal Yidris list. Azuri's Predation? Azuri's Predation is very cool. That is, I almost thought about putting that in. I just didn't because I ran out of spots. But I do like Azuri's Predation a lot as a card. Does this deck play the Return of the Wild Speaker? No, it probably should. You probably have a couple more 5-drops in here too, just in case, just to round out your curve a little bit. Yeah, Kamahl is super strong. Just ridiculous. Just all you need is lands. You need lands and Akroma, and that's all the power you need. All right, let me check the Discord chat real quick and see what kind of game we're playing. Does everyone feel like playing? See if we should come down some. I saw one for Tap Creature Tribal. I really like Tap Creature Tribal. It's a confusing deck. Poison said that was a bloodbath. Sorry, Poison. Vigor would also be good in this deck. Good. Vigor's good pretty much everywhere. Mango's going to play some Moketra. I think I'll try Tap Creature Tribal. I love Tap Creature Tribal. It just makes me happy. Where is it? Yeah, we're going to go for some Tap Creature Tribal. Where'd my deck list go? There's Gigantha. Do this. Do that. Bring Gigantha back in. See if there's any changes I need to make. I've been tinkering with my paper one a little bit. Seems okay. Do we have Pulse Mage Advocate in here? We need a Pulse Mage Advocate. Card is awesome. Tomer posted this once, and now it's like my favorite card because it's like one of the best reanimation spells in white, especially for a deck like this. What are we getting rid of? Elvish Piper really hasn't been that impressive, honestly. Oh, what's that thing? Is it Horizon something or other? Horizon Stone. If you would lose unspent mana, it becomes colorless. Yes, we want that. What are we getting rid of? Get rid of Rubinia. I don't think we need her that much. We have a Guardian Project. How much actual card draws in the deck? This deck is kind of weird about the card draw. We'll get rid of this Rakamar. Just put like a Windfall in. Just make sure we can draw some cards. Get a Windfall. We got to go buy a Horizon Stone because I don't own one. Do that real quick. This is what I was talking about with card acquisition. So start your stopwatch. We need to get a card. Oh, the window disappeared. Bring it back. Do that. Do that. Where's this deck? It's right here. It cost 87 cents. Done. We have the cards we need. What was that? Less than 30 seconds? Love it. Fire up a new game. Game is up. Where'd my water go? There's some fun stuff in this deck. Like, I played it in paper a bunch, and if you get like Visara and Adarkar Valkyrie on the battlefield at the same time, silliness ensues, and it's a really good time. Oh, there's also a legacy weapon in this deck. Won the die roll. We get to play first. Yeah. Here we go. No Teferi's Protection. Yeah. This deck runs a lot of creatures, so it doesn't have a lot of staples just because I really wanted to focus on getting creatures into the deck and just I wanted to make it a fun deck. And I get it, Teferi's Protection makes it so I can just like keep my stuff in play, but wanted to change up the card pool of stuff that I use. I gotta think about this hand for a second. Fervor is very good for this deck. Fervor puts us... I'm going to mulligan. I think we can do a little bit better in the early part of the game, but that was a very reasonable hand. This hand is not good at all. So I guess we're going to 6. There's a bunch of mana. Well, I guess we're keeping this one. Should have kept the first one. What are we getting rid of? The filter lands are very good in this deck. Can live without a forest, I guess. We draw. It's Karametra's Acolyte. Play a Bayou. Tap a Bayou. Pass turn. Elvish Piper can cheat out Godsire, but the thing is, Jegantha gives you what? A cost reduction of 3 on Godsire? So, like, it's actually very easy to just hardcast a Godsire with Jegantha. Godsire cost 8, so yeah, Godsire's a 5-mana spell with Jegantha in play, so like, Piper is cool, but with Jegantha out, it's so much cost reduction that, you know, it just works itself out that we can use that slot for other effects. Oh, that's a pretty good start. Soul Ring into Toma Legends for opponent. They are playing, Livio with Kodama. Gross. Should be interesting. Looks like green-white blink, probably. Opponent's playing Yorn. Oh, that'll be weird. And potentially really bad for us since we won our stuff untapped. There's Pulse Mage Advocate. That's kind of a late game card. Don't really need that one right now. Play the Tundra, tap everything out, and pass turn. Who does my video intros? I do my video intros. Are you talking about like the voiceover or are you talking about the art? Because the voiceover is me. The art is done by Jeffrey Palmer. He posted all of his video clips that he's made online and made them available for everyone to use freely. So, yeah, we just picked up a Horizon Stone because it makes it so we can save our Jegantha mana and launder it for later turns. Yeah, the filter lands are really good for this deck because they allow you to launder Jegantha's mana, which is a huge deal. Yeah, that's me. I do the voiceover for those videos. Today on Commander Replay. Something like that. Blah, 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 blah. Next on Six Sad World. So I did a podcast with the Commander Dojo guys, like, I don't know, a week or two ago. And you can check it out on their channel. But the first question they had for me is, like, where did the intro come from? And the intro was a combination of a Pablo Francisco stand-up from the mid-2000s. He did this whole movie liner guy bit, which is hysterical, mixed with Six Sad World from Daria. It's like kind of those two things mashed together. Plus the fact that I just enjoy action movies, so, you know, the trailer for them is usually pretty funny. Brave the Sands coming in for opponent. One's got themselves a Lightning Greaves also. Ooh, a Soul Ring. That'll speed us up. I can appreciate that. Play the Cascade Bluffs. Play the Soul Ring. Play the Acolyte. Actually, can we get Jegantha right here? No, that's 4. We can get the Acolyte right here. Next turn, we can get Jegantha. We are going to need to figure out some card draw, though. This deck is not exactly a card draw machine, so if we draw a lot of lands, it's going to be a problem for us. Hopefully, any blue players at the table? Red players? Green and white, white? Nope. And Sultai, there could be like a Windfall or a Wheel or something like that in there. Lightning Greaves. So the voice is movie trailer material? Yes. In a land. In a world. In a land before time. Arkham's Astrolabe. Opponents get to draw a card. If I wasn't chicken, I'd probably pursue a career in voice acting, but like, I don't have like stage acting experience, and a lot of people in that industry do, and I'm sure that's very much a leg up. But I already do one thing that's like difficult, which is content creation, so like, I don't need another job that's also difficult and insecure and all that sort of stuff, so you gotta pick and choose those battles. Opponent's going to activate the Tome of Legends. Livio comes in, puts a counter on there. They activate it. 1 counter in the bank. There's indeed an Aura Shards that, you know what, we might play that Aura Shards because we got some artifacts and enchantments on the battlefield that we need to blow up. And someone did mention that it is very nasty. And yeah. I don't know if there's like another card that's just like, it just feels awful. It feels so bad to play. And it's not like, you don't like categorize this card in the same category as like Winter Orb, but it is probably on par for the amount of salt that it will cause, because it's just like, well, artifacts and enchantments don't exist in this game anymore because Aura Shards happened. Well, there's a Horizon Stone. That seems really good. So we've got choices here. Let's get the Reflecting Pool. Maybe get the Firelit Thicket, just in case. We've got 3, 4, 5, 6 mana to our name. 7 with the Acolyte. 8 if we tap Acolyte after Jegantha. Oh, maybe, I think we can go Aura Shards first. White. Have this make a bunch of green. Let's get this nastiness going. And I think this is enough. Hope this is enough. Hope I didn't mess it up. Yeah, exactly enough. Cool. So Aura Shards into Jegantha. And I'm going to start with this Soul Ring, because Soul Ring OP. Trim back that mana. Gonna Worldly Tutor, sure. Rexage, get rid of it. My action voice sounds a bit like Optimus Prime from Transformers. Yeah, his is deeper. So like, I've learned to kind of do my voice at my own level. If you actually watch, you ever watch like what's the Honest Trailers is a YouTube channel. Like the guy that get to do it is actually a movie trailer guy, and you know, he has a very deep voice, so I kind of have to do it at like a mid level. But I'm also a little bit raspy today. Sometimes I just get like dried out and my throat isn't quite ready to go, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. I notice that happens a lot more on streams, like probably because I'm kind of talking a little bit more nonstop. Like when I film a video, I get to like take a break and catch my breath. If I'm just like waiting for someone to search through their library for something, then you know, you take a little break, grab a little sip of water. But yeah, today I'm a little dehydrated, so it's definitely raspier. We get a little more of that like Autobots assemble kind of thing going. Adam, yeah, you like Honest Trailers? They do some funny stuff. I really enjoy their content. I don't watch it all the time, but I'll go on a spree of watching a couple at a time and enjoy myself when I do. Here comes the Yorn, God of Winter. Whenever it attacks, untap each snow permanent you control. Seems good. And they will do just that. Untap their lands. Snow permanents, rather. D. Bradley Baker has a ton of free resources on his website for aspiring voice actors. Has voiced a ton of characters. Sweet. I'll have to check that out. D. Bradley Baker, huh? Again, it's probably just a time thing of like, I already do one thing that's hard. I don't know where I'm going to find time to do another thing that's hard. By the way, so like, you guys might be a little bit sad that this is the final live stream, as I've mentioned. I do have a lot of projects. Like I have a bunch of projects that I haven't been able to do that I think you guys will really enjoy that I just haven't had time for. And I know my time will be limited on the channel, but the fact that I'm planning to offload some of the videos to an editor means that I'm hoping I get to work on some of the things that I haven't been able to do. Because I've got some fun stuff that I haven't really talked about too much, and I don't want to announce exactly what they are yet, but you know, there's some things going on behind the scenes that I've wanted to delve into, and the time, or even worse, the money. Like there's some things I haven't been able to do just because it would be too expensive for me to do, not having steady income other than the channel. So, you know, hopefully now I'll have the income to pursue some of that and, you know, kind of delve into some new stuff that I haven't been doing. Because, yep, there's a Rex Age. Is that what they got? Yep, they grabbed a Rex Age. Aura Shard's going down. Aura Shard's going down. So at least they don't just run away with it because of the Soul Ring. I mean, they're still in a good spot, but they'd be in a much... They'd probably just play Kodama this turn if Soul Ring was still here, so... What's this do? Says we don't untap. Tap target creature as long as you control another snow permanent. It doesn't untap. That is not ideal. First live stream you're catching? Sadly, the last one. Yep, sorry. Just won't be enough time. Getting a job. Gotta pay the bills. But, like I said, I'm excited about some of the new stuff that I want to work on. I think it'll be very fun. That's Mangara. Yeah, that seems good. How much mana do we have? We have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's pretty good. That seems very, yeah, seems great. Let's play the Horizon Stone. We could play this X3. Or X3. Is that enough? Or do we try to, like, really go wild with it? Yeah, X3, likelihood of a board wipe. They're not going to play one. They're not going to play one. The mono white deck might play one. Yeah, but we have a Pulse Mage Advocate, so we can get stuff back. Yeah, we'll just play it. Because the big thing, too, is, like, you have to wait for it to not have summoning sickness, which is kind of a thing. Mangara will get to draw. I don't know how we're going to get rid of this thing, though. The Aura Shards was our removal. We need to draw cards. Take a peek at this deck, see what we got. I feel like a lot of our removal was hinged on that Aura Shards. We could blow it up and try to recast it at some point. Yeah, that's probably what we'll have to do. Use a kill creature. Use a tap ability on our Gigantha. The card in the 99, and I just like can't seem to draw it in the middle of a game. Do live streams bring in big revenue? Not for me, which is part of the reason I have to give them up. Like, if the live streams were doing really well, either in terms of like financial or like sub growth, then I would obviously stick with it. But because they're not doing that, you know, I got to kind of focus on the things that are doing those things. So. Looking to make a Kenrith deck for a pretty strong playgroup. Any tips for focus or playstyle? Yeah, just every tutor to go find Dockside Extortionist. It's like the only thing you need for that deck. It's absolutely insane. Opponent's attacking us with a Yorn, God of Winter. It's got Lightning Greaves on it. I'm not going to trade my Mikaeus into it. Super chat from Tezulo. Good luck from the family. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Spirit of Aldergard coming in. What's this do? Enters battlefield, search for a snowland, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Not bad. Not bad. Gets +1/+0 for each other snow permanent you control. It's a 10/4. That's kind of scary. What did I take? Your soul? What are you guys talking about? Thank you, MCal. I appreciate it. You like Rifa likes the scripted videos and the podcasts because I have plenty of unique perspective. Thanks. I appreciate that. So, yeah, the podcast is cool. The podcast is also like a giant time sink, and it never balances out. Like, you spend a lot of time working on it, and they never do as well as I hope they do. But I've always got so many things that I want to like share with everyone that that's probably the best way to do it. So. Looking forward to some shenanigans? Thanks. I wanted to do, so some of the things I can't talk about, I wanted to do some of the more skit style videos. I'm not sure what those are going to do. Like, I know people like the first one that was attached to the power level video. I've thought about like, if I did like just kind of short skits without the kind of the talking half of that video, I don't know if that would have the same impact, or if that's a thing from 10 years ago. Cause like I was watching this whole thing on like kind of outdated YouTube formats, and you know, things go out of style video wise. And, I'm wondering, I'm like, is that out of style? I don't know. Only way to really figure it out is to try it and see if people respond. But I do want to mess around with some more skits. I've got the next one planned that I want to do. I just haven't had time to do it, but maybe this weekend we'll get it filmed, and you know, sometime soon there may be a new skit on the channel. The Voltron, you like the Voltron podcast? Favorite play style is Rafik of the Many. Is your favorite deck? Yeah, Rafik is a really cool deck. Rafik, being Bant, has a lot of nice options available, especially when it comes to the control stuff and counter spells and making sure people don't go over the top of you. And I'll be honest, like that podcast was about 90 minutes, and I still only got like maybe 80% of the things I wanted into that podcast. I might do another like little short kind of scripted video, just talk about a few things that kind of got missed. But yeah, one of the big things with Voltron is just making sure that like having some ability to stop your opponents, because the value deck will just run past you if you let them. So, putting swords on something is great, but even something as simple as like Hushbringer to stop all the green ETB effects is huge. That's a Fist of Suns. Well, that'd be a cool card if our Gigantha wasn't iced up, but sadly, it is. Huh. We're in kind of a weird spot now. There's a giant creature over there. Would love to figure out a way to get our Gigantha out of play. Is there anything we can do with this? Doesn't look like it. I think we just tap Micaeus. Do we run the Fist of Suns out there, or does it run the risk of being shot? We definitely don't play this because this is our late game get stuff back kind of thing. Yeah, maybe just play Fist of Suns and save some mana and put it into the Horizon Stone. Stop them by elimination. Yeah, I mean, it's good in theory, but there's a lot of 1 mana removal now. So you come in with your big guy with a sword, multiple swords, whatever, and they're unsummon. Vapor Snipe. What's the other one? What's the one they use in CEDH? I can't think of the name of it right now. You know what it is. The 1 mana blue one. There's a lot of that stuff. So protecting your commander and making sure they don't do more than you are your keys for success there. Someone got 5 guys? Oh, Ryan's here. Ordered 5 guys. Gonna watch this stream until he dies from clogged arteries. Love it. Oh, we got another super chat. X1 Alpha Wolf 36. Keep up the great work. Thank you. I appreciate it. Alpha Wolf 36, you are awesome. Also, Tizulo, you are awesome. I don't know if he's still listening, though. Phone's gonna activate the scrying sheets. Roll them dice. Did he get it? Oh, he did get it. You know what? There's probably actually enough snowlands now. In this deck, that card's actually probably really effective. I was kind of doing some math, where would you run a scrying sheets? You would run a scrying sheets in basically a mono white deck. And the problem is that in mono white, you need so many utility lands to make up for things that you're missing, because there's a lot of lands that draw, that I don't know, my mono white decks maybe top out at 18 basics, and I think some of them are creeping down to 15 basics, and it's your chances of actually hitting with the scrying sheets under that scenario is not the best. Chain of Vapor, that's the one. Yeah, that's a nasty card. You're debating on whether to play Reese and break the game again? Sheets hit snow cards, not just snowlands. Yeah, so in a deck like Yorn, it definitely makes sense. And now that there's a second snow set, or a third snow set, fourth snow set, Ice Age, Cold Snap, Alliances. Although Alliances isn't really a very good snow set. Third-ish, fourth-ish snow set, however you want to do that math. New cards with the snow keyword on them that are actually decent sometimes. We do need to get some card draw, though. We're in not a great spot. I kind of just wish I kept that first opening hand. Or if someone wants to play a Windfall, that would also be great. Wheel of Fortune. Modern Horizons 1 had a bit of snow in it. Yeah, I was talking to my significant other last night and just talking about the release schedule because Modern Horizons 2 is coming out later this year. And I'm like, Modern Horizons 1 was like one of the most broken sets ever printed. It destroyed multiple formats. So I'm like, I'm a little nervous about Modern Horizons 2. We'll see what happens there. You feel like they're printing more tap lands with the basic land types because budget players should feel the joy of Farseek into fixing. Yeah, and it's kind of weird that they didn't do that sooner, honestly. Personally, I really want the enemy BFZ lands, like more than any other land type. I want enemy BFZ lands. Because for enemy color decks that don't have green, like you don't have a lot of options. Especially when you're talking about your fetches, and it does get like a little weird. And like just literally having a third card would be super huge. Oh, Robert, you signed up for Patreon? That's awesome, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. I will probably... Oh, that's a Doomscar. That is why we did not. You know what? I'm going to put a +1/+1 counter on each of our creatures. But that is why we did not play this Pulse Mage Advocate. Modern Horizons 2, Electric Boogaloo. Ryan says, join the Discord. He likes Discord. He likes it there. Opponent's going to untap a Snowland. Let's see what happens. This getting countered. Gives us the ability to get Gigantha back and actually use it, which should be helpful. Let's tap that. Because that's going to get blown up. Opponent tapping theirs as well. Magmatic Force is a cool card. I love Magmatic Force. I have a whole deck for it. It's very similar to that Tectonic Giant deck that we played the other day. In fact, it's the same deck, just with the Tectonic Giant added in. And an Elder Gargaroth. Opponent's going to draw a card. We're going to float a bunch of mana. What does it say? You lose unspent mana. Becomes colorless instead. Oh, Jason dropped in. What up, Jason? Only here for a minute. Yeah, man, the deck was awesome. I can't wait for you to check out the first half of the video. Yeah, if I'm in Colorado, I will swing by. I'll let you know. Maybe we'll get a game in. Gravenlore. Scry X, where X is the amount of snow mana. Opponent's got a War Room trigger on the stack. Yep. That board wipe is probably actually a good thing for us. And we just need to find someone who's got a bunch of lands in their graveyard. You don't want to give people back good stuff with this. You want to give them back, like, not great stuff. And right now, it looks like mostly good stuff in the graveyards. And we've lost all our momentum right here. Opponent's holding everything up. Definitely down for a Rockies game. Put me down for a couple hot dogs and a soda. Oh, did not need a land. That is not what we wanted. Crack this Marsh Flats. I don't even know what color we need, honestly. We'll just get an Underground Sea. Seems reasonable. Recast our Gigantha with this 6 colorless mana. Yeah, that all seems really cool. We do need to pay green. let's cast our Pulse Mage Advocate. And we'll tap up a bunch of mana into our Horizon Stone. Hope that we don't get wheeled and that, there's not really many instants in this deck anyway. So don't think that's going to be too big of a deal. And next turn, we'll try to get some stuff back. We haven't found the cool creatures. We need to find like one cool creature. The Mercurial guy that draws cards would be sweet. Thanks, Jason. Appreciate it. At least the commander's not tapped anymore. Yeah, this is probably an upgrade for us. Like, I think it's better for us to have access to our commander. Opponent's stuff is gone. They have to rebuild. And we can get our things back slowly. We just got to make sure we don't give opponents stuff that's, like, too good. Opponent's got a lot of ramp in their graveyard. That, like, makes me a little nervous. But, like, I don't know, Boreal Druid is not insane. Yorn coming back to play. Got another super chat from Tizulo. Whoa. Amber is the color of your energy. That one's from Frank. Frank Seum. Using my IRL friends. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Biggest mono white disappointment of the year? Oh man. There was so much disappointment. Cartographer's Hawk was a big one. Seraphic Greatsword, probably the biggest one because it was a mythic. I can kind of get past Cartographer's Hawk. They miscalculated just how slow it actually is, but I guess that one's technically last year, but there hasn't been a lot of cards this year. Yeah, the Greatsword, just because it's the mythic in a commander set, and it's like barely playable in draft. It's just painful. Like it showed up in video the other day, and as you would expect, it wasn't great. Yeah, Triumphant Reckoning was also disappointing in literally one word. If they added the word creatures to that card, it's insane. It's probably a $20 card. It's awesome and everyone runs it. And, then we're not having this conversation probably. Gambit's a little bit easier to get over for me just because it's an uncommon or something like that. It's a weird card, and why? Why would they do that? But the fact that it's an uncommon allows me to get over it a little bit easier. This year, Starnheim Unleashed was also a little bit disappointing in that it's a card that does the same thing as every other white mythic. So didn't need the first 7 copies of it. Got an 8th copy of it. Not terrible when you jam them all in the same deck, but still, just I wanted something more. I wanted the Iona of Kaldheim. Whatever that angel looks like, the Akroma of Kaldheim. Just big legendary angel does something awesome. They did not give us that. And I know they gave us Redain, which is a very cool card, but I literally probably feel better if Redain is an angel, not a god. That probably satiates some of that feeling, but that's a Grand Abolisher. Watch out for that. Yeah, just they were missing the big angel in that set, which just feels really weird. It's a strange thing. Yeah, I wish white would get extra combats too. Having played Boros for years, Waves of Aggression is an incredible Magic card for multiple reasons. 1, extra combat is cool. 2, the retrace mechanic is really good for white. Because of things like Land Tax, Tithe, Gift of Estates, it's really easy for you to have extra lands in your hand to be able to retrace that card. So I really wish they would make mono white Waves of Aggression. And also just more white cards with retrace. I know we all talk about card draw, and card draw would be nice. That's an Archon of Coronation. Pretty good card. I'll talk about that one in a second. But card draw is one thing, and card draw would be great. They are naturally hesitant about giving white good card draw. One way to simulate card advantage is retrace. The retrace mechanic is very helpful, and because white has all of those fine land effects, turning your land into a, like, there isn't even a great removal spell for retrace. Like, I don't know, if you could get like, I don't know, maybe like, even if it was 4 mana, if it was like almost like a Bramble Crush or something like that with retrace, where you could exile a permanent or something like that, that would be pretty cool. Kaldheim didn't give a big angel commander in the angel colors, so all of the black angel support felt like really not helpful. Yeah, I believe it. Ooh, Path of Ancestry. Oh, hey, where'd our Pulse Mage go? That's not great. That's not great. We are drawn dead. Um. So here's the thing. We could swing over here, and yeah, we've got a bunch of mana floating. So like, I'm just gonna swing in with this Gigantha and try to borrow the Monarch for a turn because we are stuck. Got more super chats from Tazulo. Swing into Sean. Yeah, we'll pay 2. We've got some floating mana. Path to Exile with Retrace would be legitimately, yeah. You'd probably have to like cost it a little bit more mana wise. Path to Exile with Retrace would be a really dumb card. There would never be creatures in play again, basically. Hey, how about that? Opponent lets us have the Monarch. I can appreciate that. Probably going to take a bunch of damage now, which is not the best, but yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, draw at the end step. Draw with the Monarch. Oh, another land. Ouch. Ouch. This is my new theory. I think I've talked about this in some videos. The theory is if you don't pull the lands out of your deck early, you're going to find them late, and that's exactly what we're doing right now. And that is another thing that makes green just inherently stronger than everyone else. Just put broken ETB creatures with big mana stuff like Jin-Gitaxias? Yeah, that's one way to do it. Glacial Revelation. Reveal the top 6 cards of your library. Put any number of snow permanents into your hand. The rest in the graveyard. Mono White Grizzlebrand. There you go. That's what Mono White needs. Needs better stacks cards that draw cards, non-stacks cards that draw cards. Yeah. You need to be able to like proactively draw a card like Beast Whisperer, something like that. Beast Whisperer is something you can control. I play a Beast Whisperer, I then play my creature. You don't get to control Mangara. It's all up to your opponents. Which means they can play around it, and that's kind of annoying. See you, Jeremy. Hope you feel better. Ashaya does indeed make your creatures immune to Cyclonic Rift. I haven't seen that many Ashayas. I've seen a couple. It's the type of thing that it comes down, you just like immediately wipe the board. 16/16 our way? Nope. Send in the 3/3 our way. They will take the Monarch token from us. Untap their snow stuff. Yeah, we already got our draw here, so we can just tap out our mana. Yeah, this one's not going well. Should have kept a better hand. This thing is cool, though. I'm really liking this. Because, like, we can recast our commander a lot with that much floating mana. Which is, like, all we have going right now, but we just need to find something cool. Come on, Windfall. Opponent's going to steal a Monarch token. Yep. Something like a Johnny's Advantage. Whenever you gain life, draw a card would be incredibly strong in the right deck. That's probably a little bit too strong, maybe. Because it gets really easy to, like... There'd be a point where there'd have to be some sort of limiting factor on it, I think. Just because it's really easy to gain one life, especially like Authority of the Consoles or something like that. Maybe if it was like 2 or 3 life. Whenever you gain 2 or 3 life in a turn, draw a card. That'd be a much easier way to go about it. That's like safer anyway. Because I watched the MTG Goldfish podcast on it the other day, and they talked about mono white. And they did all right, but they did miss a few things. They didn't talk about finishers at all, like finishers and synergy. Even if you have like better mana ramp and better card draw in white, you still don't have like something really good that you can go to. It's you're still kind of piecemealing it. You know, a green deck gets mana, they drop a Crater Hoof. A black deck drops a Torment. Red deck Insurrection, or just burns you out. You can make 30 mana in a white deck, and that doesn't mean you're necessarily going to win. If you have the card draw, sure, you can play a bunch of creatures, but you still probably have to untap with them, which is the thing. Dawn of Hope is like slightly overcosted. It needs to be just a little bit cheaper to do everything on there. It's fine. Like, if we would kill for a Dawn of Hope right now, but maybe that's what this deck needs. You need to get to this point in the game where you have a bunch of mana. Like, the problem always becomes that... That's a Terastodon. Don't love this at all. The problem always becomes that earlier in the game when you really need the card draw, like it's very expensive to do that, and you're probably giving up some turns. So it's kind of a trade-off type card. But yeah, where we are right now, we would definitely love a Dawn of Hope. Please don't hit our things. Please don't hit our thing. Really? Don't love it. I hate Terastodon as a card. Super annoying. Doesn't show up as much now. 8 mana's a bunch, but it's still a headache when it comes in. You've made infinite mana in mono white and just passed with 10 power in play and just shrugged? Yeah, that's what happens, is because there are additional problems in mono white beside mana ramp and card draw. The card draw would help because you could draw more cards and play like more things, but the fact is, like, you still don't have a way to just like clean it up real quick and end the game. That's Mangara coming into play. Yeah, that's the problem with Terracodon is that it quite often hits lands, and that feels terrible. There was that one game a while back. I think it was the first Lyra Dawnbreaker game I played. It was just like someone was playing like 4-color bounce nonsense, and I lost like 21 permanents to Terracodon or something like that. It was insane. And like, I was playing mono white angels. Clearly not the threat. Yeah, this is the final live stream. I start my full-time job next week, so got to scale back on the amount of time I can spend doing Commander stuff. Still be doing normal videos, but got to scrap the live streams for now. Opponent gonna steal back their Monarch token. Yep. It was a Damia deck. No, it was another one. I think it was like 4-color or something. Definitely blue and at least Bant plus something. I don't remember what the 4th color was. It was partners. There may have been a Damia deck at the table. That's also entirely possible. But I don't think the Damia deck was... I forget now. We could probably go look this up. It exists on the internet. Cultivate. Not what we need. Not what we need. You don't get them early. You find them late. Get some lands, one in the hand, one into play. Yeah, it's still a 5/5. Does opponent just block? Yeah, final for now. It's not that I won't ever stream ever again. Just got to stop streaming for a little bit until, have some more time on my hands to do that. Oh, they give us the Monarch. Love it. This is Commander Replay Plot Armor, by the way. In a normal setting, he wouldn't do this. But, it kind of depends on what's going on, too. It's like, if you're playing in a setting where you want your friends to play a little bit, then, you might give up the Monarch. In a setting where, like, letting your friends play is actively a problem, then you don't. Well, it's going to Scrying Sheets. We're going to draw a card. There's a Yisan. That's something. Gonna take a little while for that to get going, though. Someone's got to drop a board wipe. What I am going to do, though, I am going to sit down. I've been standing for a little while now. Ugh. How far off is the camera? Yep. Oh, no one heard that. And we're back. See, the one thing with him giving up the Monarch token, though, is that now his Archon ability doesn't work the same. Like, if he was on the other side of us, then it wouldn't be a big deal, but he is liable to potentially take damage from everyone else. Opponent's sending Yorn our way. Well, we'll just throw this thing in front. Although... So here's the thing. If we don't give up the Monarch right here, then we probably lose it to the Terracodon. Like, if we block this and hold on to it, then Terracodon probably just comes and takes it from us. So I think we let this go away and then let the Terracodon... At the very least, the Terracodon probably doesn't attack us. I don't know what they do with it. Maybe they might stay put with it if they don't have a big play themselves, but... I don't want to be open to the 9/9. Letting you draw means you might get answers, though. Not in this deck. The answers are slow in this deck. They're all creature-based, so, like, they're gonna have some time. I guess there's a route and a fumigate. Austere command. Those aren't really what we need in this moment. Our answers are slow. It's not an answers type deck. Oh my god, that has 32 power. Ugh. Opponent gonna double block. Interesting. Why are they double blocking? It's got 32 toughness. I don't understand. How big is this thing? It's still a 3/3. Okay. Does he have something? He's gotta have some kind of plan. Is there trample? Gets +X/+X. Still not seeing trample. It gets big. Yeah, now's a bad time to have the Monarch. There's an unbreakable formation. Okay. Okay, so he was just making sure that he wasn't going to get trampled to death, I think. He still could if trample showed up, but probably wasn't expecting it to get that big. That seems like a good little combo there, because this untaps all your lands and then gives you the mana to pump this thing up. Seems good. Thanks, appreciate it. Streaming to us is my job. Oh, is there trample? Oh, it does have trample. Wow, I can't read. I don't know why the trample wasn't in blue. Threw me off. Sean sacrificed himself right there by giving us the Monarch token. Trample under the blue text. Got it. Got it. Found the trample. It's a problem. Whenever another snow permanent enters, you may have target player mill 2 cards. Yeah, I don't know that there's a lot we can do with that thing, so, like, opponent's going to have to play some removal. Thanks, Last Resort. I appreciate it. Ascendant Spirit. Worm is heading our way next. Yeah, probably. This deck is scarier, though. Like, I don't know. There's Livio. Oh. I mean, that seems... Livio with Terracodon seems way scarier than what we're doing. Toma Legends. Boots. This thing is an elemental elk. That's not going to help us with the scry. You run into a Muldrotha opponent dropping Lord of Extinction and Consuming Aberration. Oh yeah, Those are probably huge. I've had a Lord of Extinction forever, and I've never used it. I've had a Teneb deck. It goes into my Teneb deck whenever I rebuild Teneb. There's a Terracodon trigger. Yep. Start blowing things up. Windfall into board wipe. That's what I want to see. Ooh, interesting. They blow up their own Tome of Legends. I think because they're trying to get more bodies on board. Let's see. We need a big draw. Gonna need a really big draw. We're waiting. We are waiting. Come on. Opponent has likely stepped away from their computer, forgetting that they are holding priority, is what I assume happened. Yeah, they probably should have hit three forests and cut down the stuff. The problem is, so one of the tricky things with Terracodon is like, if you hit 3 of opponent's stuff, they get a lot of creatures back when that happens. There's a Kalitas. Well, I doubt we're going to survive any of this. Play that. Play Yisan. Play Kalitas. Use the Fifth of Suns ability. I'm going to leave this untapped because we just need everything we can get, toughness-wise. Who's got the mark? He's got the mark. Yeah, we can't wrestle that away from him. Pass like that. All right, so we're going to add a little bit of card draw to this deck. Harmonize. Going to be solid for us. Opponent's going to mill us. Boots and Mother of Runes. Fine. We really just need cards. Boots is helpful, though. Gives our stuff haste. Iceberg Cantrix. Mill again. Fervor into the graveyard. Oh yeah, no, I totally agree. Well, they're getting the big one. Well, we can just block that. I mean, we can even just take this. Can opponents stop the big one? What do we have? Do we have any cool creatures at 1 mana? They're pumping the worm. It's going to get big. It's 40-40. Only Mother of Runes. Well, that's disappointing. So we're not going to be able to get anything with Yisan because that's already in the graveyard. Probably need a Weathered Wayfarer for this deck, honestly. Not a terrible thing to have. So we'll need an untap before this actually does anything. Some cool stuff at 2, though. At 2, we can get Bloom Tender, Stoneforge Mystic, Kiora's Follower are all very good. 3, we have many things. You play a lot of CEDH against Yorn? Yeah. Down opponent goes. As long as this sticks, they can't just kill us. I mean, maybe we wait till they come in. So the funny thing with this deck, not really getting a good look at it here because we're not doing much, but everything with this deck is at instant speed because it's all activated abilities. So, like, you know, you cast stuff during your turn, but generally you hold up all your abilities for your opponent's turns. Oh, yep, in Garrick's Wake. Okay, so there's almost nothing that's going to get us out of this. Opponent draws. I'm going to run it back. This isn't how I want to go out. We did almost nothing this game. Yeah. Yep, that sucks. Game 3. All right, we're gonna add just a touch of card draw. Probably need not War Room. Bonder's Enclave should be good though. Kokoro is also helpful. What are we taking out? City of Brass because it's annoying on Magic Online. Not a lot of places to cut from in this deck. The filter lands really take up a lot of deck slots in addition to fetches and duels and all that stuff. I don't even think I have Pain land. I don't think I have the Ravnica lands in the deck even. So we'll drop Makoko. Yeah. Let's drop a Mystic Gate. And that's 37 lands. We can cut from somewhere else. Seedborn, Kiki, Aethersworn, Route, Fumigate, Arcanus, Sabo, Godsire. Isan's actually a bit underwhelming. We'll get rid of Isan. So we've got a little bit of extra card draw on the deck, so we shouldn't get stuck nearly as badly this time. All right, I'm going to run to the bathroom real quick. I will be back in 30 seconds, and we will have a new game. All right. We've got one. We got one logging in. We'll have a game shortly. Take another peek at this deck. So yeah, this thing has been super fun to play in paper. In paper, there's a couple things that I don't have. I don't have Bloom Tender and what's the other one? I don't have Selvala. And just these two creatures drastically change the power level of this deck. It's like kind of absurd what they do. Because I've played it on video a bunch of times, and with these, this can basically be like a turn 6 deck if there isn't a lot of removal at the table. There's our match. But because I don't have those in paper, it's like it's much slower than that. It's probably like a turn 8 or 9 deck, I would say at the earliest. The amount of mana and the ways to abuse those cards is just absurd. Oh, this is a tricky hand. If we had green mana, this would be cool, but we're gonna mulligan. Yep, always gets worse. Always gets worse than the second one. Every single time. There we are. Go to 6. Go to 5. Believe it or not, we can make this work with Selvala. We need to put 2 to the bottom. Put these 2 to the bottom. Is Yisan worse than Horizon Stone? Yeah, for this deck, kind of. Yisan's it's cool and it's cute, but it never does quite as much as I want. It's always, because it always takes a little too long to get going. I don't think I've ever gotten above like 2 or 3 with it. So probably just better off having card draw to smooth things out. Well, opponent's off to a start. That's cool color Gisa. Oh, yeah. So in a video the other day, I talked about how, like, I've seen a lot of Ghoul Caller Gisa on the channel, but they always get stuck. So I wonder if D-Manny's made some changes to his deck so that won't happen. Excuse me. All right, so we've got a Mana Crypt. We've got a couple lands. Path of Ancestry is going to help us a lot here, I think. Probably have to get 3 lands into play before we can really play the Selvala. So we'll play the Path of Ancestry. Makes all of our colors. Play the Mana Crypt. Play the Swiftfoot Boots. Oh no, if we play this one next turn, yeah, we're good. Okay. So next turn, we should be able to play Selvala, Tropical Islands, tap Selvala, draw a card. And that seems really good. Get us out of our don't get to draw cards problem from last time. Ooh, Blim. We got a Blim at the table. We've also got Morit of the Frost. Haven't seen this one, I don't think. And then finally, Ghoul Caller Gisa. And we are once again piloting Gigantha Tap Creature Tribal. Thousand-Year Elixir. Yeah, Thousand-Year Elixir is super sweet in this deck. Also, Mage Right Stone. If you want to go really wild with it, you put Seedborn Muse in, which I do have in this particular build, but I've sort of gone back and forth on like whether this deck should have Seedborn Muse or not. It doesn't tap, but you can use Quest for Renewal, which is a very budget-friendly version of Seedborn Muse, which is it's also far less broken. Seedborn Muse is like, if it were up to me, I'd probably just ban this in Commander. It's like a little bit too good, but at the rate that they're printing cards that are all a lot a bit too good, I don't know. It's probably not as bad as it used to be, but it's still pretty horrendous card. I know a lot of people disagree with me on that one, but just how I feel about it. Brings back to our turn, Mana Crypt Flip. I played on Magic Online for years where there is no social contract. It's just like, be as savage as possible. That's a Bloom Tender. Oh, man. Things probably going to get kind of wild. Play the Tropical Island. We drew one of the 2 cards that makes this deck insanely strong. Play a Selvala, equip a Selvala, tap a Selvala, draw a card, it's a Fist of Suns. Yeah, play a Fist of Suns. Love it. Probably could have played Bloom Tender there, right, too, as well, but... Do I have Chromatic Orrery in this deck? I don't. no good reason other than I don't. Probably could go in here. That's a defense grid. Each spell costs 3 more to cast except during its controller's turn. Makes counter spells difficult. Yeah, Seedborn is just, it's like a little too strong. It's not infinite mana, but it's like close. Here's a question. Who's worse, Seedborn Muse or Nyxbloom Ancient? I feel like with Seedborn Muse, you don't always die immediately. With Nyxbloom Ancient, if they untap with it, it's probably game. I've survived a Seedborn a couple times. You don't immediately die with it. The Horizon Stone is used because Jegantha only lets you spend colored mana, and if you float all that colored mana, Horizon Stone saves it to colorless mana, which you can then spend on anything later on, which is super helpful. It launders your mana, essentially, which is a really cool thing for this deck. Because I've been playing without it for a little while, and like your mana spending gets really complicated in this deck, and it's like it's actually hard to play in paper because it's very difficult to keep track of everything. Activate Selvala. Ooh, another land. More lands than I was looking for. Play a Plateau, play a Bloom Tender. Play a Jegantha. Pretty sure I overtapped, but that's okay. Quest for Renewal is very strong. We'll keep that on top. We'll keep the boots on the Selvala because I want the card draw more than I care about the Bloom Tender in this exact second. Telling opponents I mulled 5, but Mana Crypt OP. Selesnya Uologist. Exile target creature from a graveyard, then populate. Gladewalker Ritualist. Oop, that's a Thassa's Oracle. That card's destroyed some formats, huh? Opponent to get themselves a Phyrexian Reclamation into play. Handy card. I find that I don't play the style of decks that like this type of card. Usually like Aristocrats, decks with like lots of cheap creatures. I like decks with like big 6 and 7 drops, and like recasting a 7 drop is not particularly easy. When that's the case, you're better off with just like Animate Dead, Necromancy type stuff. Opponent's gonna swing with the Stitcher Suppliers. Got a Sword of the Animist on it. Yeah, get those lands. Why not? They gotta have a Westvale Abbey in play. Watch out for that. That's the type of thing that'll get you late in the game, and it's when that flips over, there's usually not a lot of exile left in people's hands. It's difficult to get rid of. Yeah, it was a fair Thassa's Oracle. How about that? How many of those do you ever see? I'm not sure what opponent's plan is over there. Am I ever going to make or play another Magda Dwarves plus Dragons deck? I'd like to. So you guys have probably seen a lot of videos come out over the past 2-3 weeks. I've been trying to get caught up on my backlog of Patreon videos before I start working full time because it'll be impossible to get caught up on them then. So I really want to be into a good place before I have to, reduce my hours on the channel. And I think I've got about 7 Patreon videos left in backlog, give or take. Probably check that right now. Let's see. This one is done. We color them green when they're done. I get to color this one green. That's the Kethis video that came out earlier today. If you guys haven't seen that one, check that one out. There's some really cool Planeswalker stuff in that video. If you like silliness, that video has some silliness. There's the quest for renewal. Activate Selvala. Keep drawing the cards. There's Lightning Greaves. Love it. Still need, like, something to do with all of these things. You know what? I should have played the quest for renewal first. Whoops. Cast the quest for renewal. Cast the Lightning Greaves. Greaves on Bloom Tender, I guess. Play a land. Whenever creature you control becomes tapped, put a counter on it, as long as there are 4 or more on it, and tap. Yep, so it won't be able to do it this turn. Next turn, though, we're just going to stay put right here. We could probably... Actually, we could attack with Jegantha. Oh, missed it. Yeah, the 5/5 keeps things away, though. It'll be fine. Anyway, that one being done. That one's already filmed, so we got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got nine more Patreon decks I need to catch up on for February and March. So I've been trying to power through those. Oh, nope, never mind. That one's done. That was the Tectonic Giant video. Boom. Dunzo. Make it 8. Make it 8. So anyway, yeah, I've been trying to get caught up on those, so I don't know if I'll be able to... I really do want to play more Kaldheim stuff. I would like to retouch that Magda deck a little bit. Didn't have the best go-round with it. Probably needed to tweak it a little bit. I can probably readjust this camera again. Morit of Frost. Make infinite copies of the... yeah, I should probably read some of these cards. I have no idea what any of this stuff does. All right, so copies the Gladewalker Ritualist. It's a changeling. Whenever another creature named Gladewalker Ritualist enters the battlefield, draw a card. Okay. Exile target creature card from a graveyard, then populate, so they can make a token copy. Yeah, it looks like they're probably going to try to do some sort of copying Thassa's Oracle bit. Morit is usually value clones. Okay, that makes sense. I see what's going on here. We'll give it a read. Enters a battle. It's changeling. Enters a battlefield as a copy of a permanent you control, except it's legendary and snow in addition. And enters with 2 +1/+1 counters and has changeling. Very interesting. Opponent can draw some cards. Watch out for Risen Reef. Okay, thanks, champ. Appreciate it. Risen Reef kind of OP. Here comes Ghoulcaller Gisa. Yep. No, this is the final live stream because I'm going to be working full time starting next week. So no more live streams. Still be regular content. I just need to cut down the amount of time I spend doing Commander stuff. So no more live streams. At least for the foreseeable future. If things change. If something cool comes up, I might be able to do one here or there, but won't be able to do them regularly. Opponent going to send a 2/2 our way. Oh, they want it to die, don't they? Yeah, that's fine. We'll block. Block that. Tap this. Quest for Renewal, trigger. Tap that one. Quest for Renewal, trigger. Yes. And we can have 6. Yeah, anyway, with the Magda deck, there's definitely a nice balance of dwarves to dragons that I haven't quite found yet, but it exists, and that deck can do some cool stuff when you get it, so. Man, there's still so much Kaldheim stuff I haven't even played. So many legends in Kaldheim. Good ones at that. Someday. Someday we'll get there. Feed the Swarm. Oh, really? Don't love it. Don't love it. Mana Crypt. Won the flip. Not a land. Come on. Karametra's Acolyte is fine. We need a little bit more than that. Let's draw a card. Oop, it's a Seaborn Muse. I'm just going to hold on to that because, like, it doesn't do anything. All we do is make mana right now. We're just, like, super exposed to a board wipe. I might even hold the Acolyte because, like, again, super exposed. Literal nothing happening. What's this thing do? We should be aware of this. Deals combat damage to a player. That player gains control of target permanent you control. Then each player loses life and discards cards equal to the number of permanents they control but don't own. It's reverse, reverse Zedru. It has flying, so we can't block. Ugh. It's not great. It's not great. Yeah, I guess we just pass. We had, like, something to do. Got all the mana dorks. Haven't drawn out of this Multi 5 particularly well. I thought it would go a little bit better than this. We need one big creature. Give us one of our 6 or 7 drops. Any of this stuff. Oh, God, what? Really? We're doing that? Yep. I'm going to send this over to the Ghoul Caller Gisa. They are going to get a Nefarious Lich. If damage would be dealt to you, exile that many cards from your graveyard. If you can't, you lose the game. If you would gain life, draw that many cards instead. Opponent has a Nefarious Lich. Watch out for that. They do have a lot of cards in graveyard, though, so they're not, like, just going to die. Who saw that? I just splashed water all over my face. Whoops. Let's see what this deck is doing. D-Manny not happy. Said Gisa's been cursed on this channel. Yep. Now they've got a Lich. They just need to keep filling their graveyard. That's all they need to do. Or they need to take Pauper out of the game. Into the north for opponent. Giving away Lich type enchants is neat. Somehow never thought of that. Yeah, I mean, that's what this deck wants to be doing. It's like reverse Zedru. Actually, it's like kind of reverse Zedru. I gotta read Zedru again. You gain X life and draw X cards, where X is the number of permanents you own that your opponents control. So you gain benefit. Yeah, it's sort of inverse Zedru. Like, you gain benefit for your opponents having stuff. This hurts your opponents for them having your stuff. There's an Eternal Witness. Lich, Dream Halls, Aetherflux. Yeah, seems like a thing. Blim, Group Slug. Someone, I think it was Sherry, Patreon supporter, had a really cool Lich theme deck. It was a 4-color deck, I think. And they had some cool stuff going on there, and they, like, nearly hit the combo. I think I had, like, the one removal spell that stopped it or something. But I'd actually like to see that deck again, because it was actually pretty sweet. See what opponents got for us. Opponent said they set a stop in the wrong place. It's unfortunate. What does this do? Oh, Dream Devour? They just skip their main? Opponent gonna attack into Pauper with the Solemn. Yep. Rakdos gets a good amount of cursed enchantments that have a downside, so Blim seems like it has some spice to throw around. Yeah, it definitely does. There are definitely a decent amount of these type cards. Opponent just passed all their mains. You can't use the yield until function on Magic Online. It messes up in multiplayer. It's not where you want to be. Mana Crypt flip on us. Lost the flip. Here's a land. Tap this thing. Oh, more of the lands we're flooding. We are flooding. What's this thing? Elemental Elk? Nope, can't even scry. Can't even scry. I still don't think it's worth playing any of this stuff. Like, probably just gonna get crushed in a board wipe. The 5/5 is good for keeping stuff away. I guess we pass. We're feeding our opponents so many cards with the Selvala. It's like definitely going to be a problem. There's no way that it's not going to be a problem. It's just that like you're supposed to be able to take better advantage of it, and we're not. We're not doing that. Merfolk Looter. We need a Merfolk Looter. Honestly, this can probably come out of the deck too. Like, it's cool because it can make a ton of mana, but like, as long as Gigantha stays in, Gigantha makes so much mana in this deck. This could be probably another card draw slot. Aggressive Mining, I'm jealous. You can't play lands, sacrifice a land, draw 2 cards, activate this ability only once. Oh, we can see what people... Yeah, Selvala does reveal. Let's see. We see some lands. Grid Monitor. You can't cast creature spells. That would be backbreaking for us. It is a Consecrated Sphinx. That'll probably come down. Doubling Season. Phyrexian Arena. Feed the Swarm. Night's Whisper. We're going to go over that way. Oh, they're going to give this to the Simic player. That's funny. Ha! Nice. Yeah, I was just hoping for like something. We have all the setup we need. We just need one cool creature. And we're golden. Opponent assumes the aggressive mining and can no longer play lands. They should take the focus off us for a little while. Should be good. Yeah, normally I'm all about getting lands like out of the deck, but like we mulled the 5, and you know we kept this hand on the contingent that like this would draw us out of the mulligan. It hasn't gone that well. We have a ton of mana production and nothing to do with it. It's kind of frustrating. If we could get like Beguiler of Wills off the top, steal the Consecrated Sphinx, that's probably about to happen right here. That would be glorious. What's Bona got? Sublime Epiphany. Oh, God. Whenever another creature enters that, draw a card. Oh, God. This is going to get silly. Oh, they're going to return that to the owner's hand. That seems like it's going to get rid of the aggressive mining for them. Pauper's got plans. I'm only 2 cards behind Blim. Yeah, we're just not catching the quality of cards that we need. Caught all the mana production. We need something beside mana production. More Gladewalker Ritualists. Opponent's going to return a zombie. What else do they have? Does this deck run fetches? It runs some. I think I reduced the number of fetches because when you have all the fetches, all the duels, and all the filter lands, that's, what, 30 lands? Not a lot of room for other stuff in the deck. So, you know, I don't have every single one. This is one of those decks, opponent's going to populate X times. This deck I actually think is more enjoyable when you don't have all the money for it. Like when you have all the money for it, Bloom Tender, if we caught like one cool creature, if we had like a Beguiler of Wills or something like that, we would just be stealing all of our opponent's stuff and the game would be like kind of over. And this deck can be very fast with cards like this, also Mana Crypt. But you know, I built this deck because I wanted to play fun stuff that I never get to use. You know, let's go take a peek at this thing. Like, Aethersworn Adjudicator, really cool card. Don't get to use it all that often. Sabo is actually really cool in this deck. Tariel is decent. It's about as good as it gets in this deck. Kalitas I haven't gotten into play yet, but I'm excited to do it at some point. Godsire is good. Visara, Arcanus, Kamahl, and Niv Mizzet, like, these are all fun cards that, like, I've always wanted to use, and it's when you don't have all the super expensive stuff for this deck, it's easier to use all of the, like, subpar cards instead of just the, like, the staple that goes in, you know, most decks or whatever. Some attacking happens, Pauper loses some life, goes down to 25. And I've been noticing that that's kind of a theme now. Like, I've played so much Magic over the past few years that, you know, decks, when you have perfect access to cards, you use a lot of the same cards. Like for me, if I have a Steel Shaper's Gift, yeah, Steel Shaper's Gift's going in, and Enlightened Tutor, you know, Stoneforge Mystic, all that kind of expensive stuff. It can be more exciting to build a deck in the absence of those things, and like you start figuring, one, you get to use cards you don't get to use normally. It just leaves more deck slots. 2, you figure out different ways to like solve those problems. Maybe it's less mana efficient. It probably is, because the staples are staples usually because they're the most mana efficient thing at what they're doing. But I have found that decks like this are just more enjoyable when you don't have a huge budget to build them with. Opponent made a token at the end step, salvaging what they could of not being able to cast things on their turn. So they got a card back, and they use the Westvale Abbey. Citrus Supplier coming back. Opponents got their Ghoul Caller Gisa online, so they can start sacrificing stuff. You built 39 Counterspell Brawl because your friend plays decks that are way more powerful. The 1 in 3 CMC counterspells are great. Yeah. Yeah. Brawl counterspells is like a very nice, easy, cheap deck to make if you need something powerful or to stop powerful decks. You have 3 or 4 or 5 color decks that are fully loaded with fetches, shocks, duels. Those hurt. Yeah, I bet. I mean, I don't have a single deck in paper that's fully loaded with anything. Even my Boros decks, like, if I pulled every fetch land out of every deck that I had, because, like, you know, usually there's like 2 good fetch lands in a deck and then a bunch of Mirage fetches or something. If I pulled every good fetch land I had, I still wouldn't have a full set of fetch lands. Also wouldn't have a full set of duels. I think I have about 7 or 8 dual lands, but mostly non-blue ones. I think I only have Tropical Island as a blue dual land. A couple plateaus, a couple scrub lands. So, like, Armillary Sphere is great if you have a 5-color deck that doesn't have a really expensive mana base. It's 2 mana. It's color fixing and it's land fixing. And one of the problems I've noticed is that, like, you can't guarantee you're going to have green mana for a Cultivate. Also, Burnish Chart is really good, too, when you're playing 5-color on a budget. It is nice to make the table go, what is that, when you play a card. Yeah, man, thanks for joining the live stream. This will be the last one. I do start my new job on Monday, so got to cut back some hours, and, you know, got to cut down. So I'm going to cut the streaming, but still going to do a lot of regular content. The key to having OG duels is getting them while they're cheap, which at this point essentially equates to having a time machine. Because, like, the most I've ever paid for one was $100. I bought a Plateau maybe 4 years ago. I've never paid more than that for a dual land. I just got them when they were much less expensive than that. Opponent sending a 3/3 zombie our way. Block? Yeah, I'm still going to try to do about 3 videos a week, Banana. The time that they get released may change. I haven't figured that out yet. But do I edit and upload streams? No. I separate my streaming from my filming. People have asked, like, why don't you just film the stream and then, like, cut it later? And honestly, that would be harder and just take longer. It's easier to, like, focus on the one thing that I'm doing. And because there's a lot of, like, me talking with chat, and I'm not calling the game nearly as well when I'm on live stream. Also, I just make a lot more mistakes. Definitely a lot of multitasking that happens. 1 the flip on this Mana Crypt. Come on, big draws. Austere Command is a magic card. Big creature. Little creature, little creature, little creature, little, and little. Little creature, big creature. Little creature, little creature, little creature. Lots of little creatures. So a lot of little creatures on the board. The little creatures would get rid of our Selvala, which I don't love. Also our Bloom Tender, which is cool, but, like, this probably does need to happen at some point. But there's also a Lich out here. There's some enchantments. Would love to get rid of the artifacts, although we have a couple artifacts that I don't want to get rid of. Tap the Selvala. See what this gets us. Oh, another land. Another land. Oh my god. Play the Windswept Heath. Crack the Windswept Heath. Shuffle this deck. Pull lands out of the deck. Enchantments kills D-Manny? Does it? Oh yeah, it would, wouldn't it? When it leaves the battlefield, you lose the game. I don't think we're the threat right now. I think everyone's kind of working on this Blim, so we'll probably just hang out for a turn. Let's see. What do we need? Anything we're missing? Let's get a Tundra, just make sure we have enough white mana. Man, we got stuck again. Don't love it. Don't love it at all. Yeah, I think we just pass. Oh, that sucks. Just need a creature, one cool creature. We can untap it, do stuff with it. Sadness. Poison, you had a friend who left 10 years ago and they offered their entire collection for $100. There was a playset of each duel. Oh my god. Yep, that's how you get dual lands. AKA Time Machine. That's a Stark of Wrath. If you've never seen that card, it's actually very strong. Probably needs to go in this deck, quite honestly, although the whole losing control of it thing is not the best. Opponent's going to Swift End this Gladewalker Ritualist. Need a Crassus right now? The gift that keeps on giving? Yeah. Any card draw. Any card draw beside this Selvala. Anything that will let us draw multiple cards. Would be good. A Harmonize. Even a Harmonize would be lovely. Opponent gets hit by the Blim. They're going to gain control of a defense grid. You have a near mint Badlands and a binder with a $60 price tag on it. It's probably gone up a little since then. I have a lot of cards like that. None necessarily as cool as a Badlands, but I think I have an extra Badlands. I have to check my dual land collection. I think I've got 3 Plateaus, 2 or 3 Scrublands. I ended up with a couple of those somehow. I think 2 Bayous, maybe 1 Bayou, maybe 1 Bayou, 2 Badlands. That sounds about right. And then 1 of whatever non-green dual lands, or non-blue dual lands I haven't mentioned. This is a cool card. I need to use this thing more. It's an instant. Quasi-duplicate, Eternal Witness. That seems bad. Seems bad. I really wanted to wipe the board, but we just run out of stuff to do if we do that. Opponents have way more cards than us. Like, if we can get to a place of we have a follow-up plan after wiping the board, then I'll happily wipe the board, but until that happens... Repudiate, just keep the counter target... Oh, yep, there we go. So Stark of Wrath on the Eternal Witness, and opponent's going to counter that ability. I don't love the counter ability cards that much. They can get a little strong. It's sort of like... Right now, I think there's enough of them. I think Disallow is like slightly too strong as a card. There needs to be a cost. Like, there's no cost to running Disallow, basically. With something like Stifle, the cost is it doesn't hit everything, so that's fine, but... You have a few unlimited duels that you picked up for $100? Yeah, that's a good pickup now, because they all expensive. Friend's dad had a box, each OG duel, and a Black Lotus. Yeah, that's cool. Lotuses are cool. Wish I bought all the ones that were $300 in the case in like 1995 or 6, whatever year that was. That'd be like the greatest investment ever. Quasi-duplicate, more Eternal Witness, getting back the Fluff Flowering, populate X times. We probably have to play the Austere Command this turn. Hopefully we can get some follow-up action going on. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Yeah, I mean, when I was like 11, I didn't have $300 lying around. I should have stopped buying packs is what I should have did. Bought way too much Ice Age. Ice Age, fun set, nostalgic set, not a great set. It's got 1 million cards in it. Only a couple of them were worth anything even back then. Actually, I'm curious. All right, start placing bets. I'm going to look up Ice Age. What do you guys think the top 3 or 4 most expensive cards in Ice Age are? What are they and how much are they worth? I'm going to look it up on a screen over here. All right, we got 1 vote for Necropotence. Yeah, me too. I spent way too much money on packs. I feel that. Packs were not the place to be. Last Resort says, I think you've been playing MTG longer than I've been alive. I've been playing for a while. So I started in like 95. What year is it? It's 2021. How many years is that? I took some breaks in there. Like, I didn't play the whole time. I took some big breaks for... I didn't play between, like, 1998 and probably 2005. I kind of played on and off between 05 and, like, 07, maybe. There's definitely been breaks. All right, Ice Age. Necropotence is a $70 card according to Goldfish now. Who knew? I remember those were like $5. I was trying to get them out of people's trade binders for like $5-6, and a few, I say like probably 5-6 years ago now, a little while ago. Wow, who saw that coming? That card's insanely OP. I get it, but Demonic Consultation up to 23. Martin Stromgold, I've got one of those. That's $21. Huh? Who knew? That had to have spiked like crazy because I don't recall that being expensive. I definitely wouldn't have paid $21 for it. No, it was $5 up until earlier this year. That's a huge spike. That looks like a buyout. Illusions of Grandeur, 20. Pox spiked up to 20 because of recent Commander. Altar of Bone is 18. Is that card even that good? Then we get into Sulphurous Springs at 16. Adarkar Wastes at 16. Jester's Mask still 14. Jester's Cap 14. Jester's Cap was the expensive card back then. Which, you look at it now, you're like, that card's not even that good. But people played... Tournament Magic was weird back then. Somehow Jester's Cap was a $30 card. You have to ask the questions of what things were going on that would make Jester's Cap a $30 card. Weird things. Wow, Winter's Chill? Okay. Strangely, some of these cards actually have value now, and I actually have a lot of these cards floating around in random places, but it has definitely taken a little while. Polar Kraken, $7. That one's fun. Fire Covenant, $6 uncommon. How about that? Yeah, there's actually a little bit of value in there, but, given that it's taken 25 years, wouldn't exactly call that great investment. Yeah, anything with reserve list has spiked like crazy. Commander wasn't massive 5-6 years ago. It was still big. It was still growing. There just wasn't like reserve list buyouts in the same way. Commander was much more open. It was more like still kind of in its exploratory phase. I think now it's a little more solved. A little bit less exploration happening. The pandemic hasn't helped. I think having an influx of like new players, which I don't think is really happening right now, is a big problem for Magic. and like they need to get that vaccine out and need to get people back in shops because new player growth it's a thing. Like it needs to happen, otherwise the game's not going to continue. Maybe that's like a little overly dire, but from what I've seen on my channel, my channel's obviously like a much smaller scale than WotC as a company, but like the problems that I've seen from like not having steady growth can be multiplied exponentially to a large company. So the growth is super important, and they need to get new players coming in. Undead War Chief. Yep. Good old Icy Manipulator. Oh, I was all about the Icy Manipulator Royal Assassin combo. That was all me. I played Mono Black Control back then. Mr. Kimura has gotten expensive too. That card, oh man. That card was like $2 made not that long ago. Maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Like pretty recently. I definitely looked at buying something like, this is a really good card, and then I just didn't. Oops. Your $250 deck is over $650 now? Yeah, I mean, I spent $100 on $1 cards building my Shieldred deck, and that card's like $1,000 now. Now, I've bought a few things along the way. There's a coffers in there now, and there's, Gauntlet of Power, which has just, like, that card's always been expensive in paper. They refuse to reprint it. WotC last year was the most profitable it's ever been. That may be true, but I think it's all off of like existing players. I don't think it's because there were a lot of new people coming into the game. So that's fine for like a year, and a particularly weird year at that. But in the long term, they still need to have new people coming in, and I don't think that's happening right now. Yeah, no, I'm sitting like a sucker also with one Remora. I feel you. I can build one blue deck. And I guess it's just because I don't play blue that often. I have one Rift, one Remora. I don't even have a Rhystic Study, actually. I figure those will get reprinted eventually. Uh-oh. Opponent didn't want to do that. So they took down Pauper, and the Lich effect apparently still triggers, which I don't feel like it should. I'm going to gather that. And they lose to the trigger, but if that gets... Because, like, it should get exiled. It's not even like... It's even... When a player leaves, it's even stronger than exile. It's almost like it didn't exist. There's no ruling on that. That is interesting. Well then, this game probably wrap up pretty soon then. We do need to draw things that matter. We have failed to do that up to this point. Yeah, it gets exiled, but it's like, it's not truly exile though. It's like, isn't it something else? I know it goes to exile, but I don't know if they're supposed to lose right there, because I think when the card gets exiled, the effect should also be exiled, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm misunderstanding that effect, but... All right, brings it back to our turn. We're still at 46. We haven't been threatening at all. All we can do is make mana. Another forest. Tap the Selvala. Oh my god, really? Really? We've drawn so many cards. Opponent's way ahead of us. So I mean, we have to wipe the creatures. There's just like no way we can't do that. That being the case, I guess we just tap everything for a bunch of mana. We'll play the Austere Command for Wooburg, because that's an easy thing to do. Definitely blowing up all creatures. Creatures are blued up. Turn Jegantha to the command zone. Let's recast Jegantha. Oh, we got Fist of Suns. Fist of Suns is super helpful right here. by paying that. And then let's use the Path of Ancestry. We need black mana. Oh, we need black mana. Undo. Undo. Oh, God, do we have to start over? Start it over. Gigantha. Making black mana. Need blue mana. 2 colorless. We scry 1. Captain Sisay is a real magic card. We're going to put that on top. That can get us to useful things. Put a Lightning Greaves on this. We will then tap this thing for that. And I don't really want to run the Seedborn Muse down there just yet. Yeah, let's just do that. You know what, though? Let's not tap Gigantha. Just cast the Karametra's Acolyte. Put some boots on it. Play a land. Good combat. Swing with both. Going beats. Sorry, Danny. Yeah, I saw that. I thought you should have survived the Lich effect because it was exiled, but apparently that's not how it works. Blim, though. How about that? You're actually, like, primed to start having success with the Gisa. It's not the way you want to go. Novice says, I think there has been a lot of games where 2 people go down at, like, the same time. Yeah, sometimes that'll happen. I think there's been more games. Yeah, there's been more games lately where, like, multiple players die at once. And I think part of that speaks to just, like, cards being stronger. It's easier to do that now. It used to be harder to do that, like, 7 or 8 years ago. Unless you were infinite comboing. You know, Avengers Zendikar notwithstanding, but... Masked Vandal. Don't blow up our stuff. Blows up our boots. Don't love it. Don't love it. Gigantha no longer has haste. Brings it back to our turn. I'm very excited about this Captain Sisay. Tails. Won the flip. There's Captain Sisay. Let's cast a Sisay. Get some white. Put the Swifties on it. Try to be careful about our mana usage. Swiffle Boots. It has haste. Tap it. Let's go find something cool. What do we get? Feldon is interesting. Legacy Weapon is interesting. Marike. We have lots of choices. Samut is very good in this deck. Sabo is super cool. We probably need to get some kind of removal just so opponents don't do wild stuff on us. Tristani is pretty sweet. Those things are 1/3s. Kamahl? Let's get Kamahl. That one's fun. Tap this for mana. Cast Kamahl. Cast the Seedborn Muse. Tap this for some mana. Start cleaning these things out. Masked Vandal down. We'll get Arcanus next. Arcanus is also very cool. I don't know exactly what the win condition in this deck is, so I wanted to have like some kind of removal. We probably could have went for Visara, honestly. Hopefully opponents don't find the line on us right here. What up, Jess? Helm of the Host, real magic card. Equips it to the Gladewalker Ritualist. Cloudkin Seer. They draw a card. We'll tap this Sisay. Let's get Arcanus. Final means that I'm starting a job next week and full-time work, so I won't be streaming any longer. I'll still be putting up regular content. We'll have to cut back on those slightly as well, but no more streams. I won't be streaming regularly anymore just because I won't have time. No, I'll still be posting regular videos. The edited ones. I just won't be streaming anymore. Brings it back to our turn. On the flip. Oop, there's the Chemister. Chemister is cool. All the card draw. Tap this thing, get Wooburg, cast this thing. Boots on it. Draw 3 cards. Oh, yeah, now we're talking. Now we are talking. There's a legacy weapon. I'll try to avoid using that because that's like particularly savage. It's a cool card, but it is super nasty. Yeah, now we got to cast all this stuff. Tap that for a bunch of green mana. Cast a Sabo Tavik. Red. How much black do we have? We don't have very much black mana. Gotta watch out for that. Yeah, I just guess we cast it. Sabo Tavik. First strike, protection from legendary creatures. Play a land. Play the Chemister. We have done our thing. It took a little while. Usually this happens much earlier in a game. It's not usually this slow. We mulled. Did not catch the card draw early. Usually you just need like one card draw thing and you're golden. If you can get this thing down earlier, you're in great shape. How many legends are happening over here? None, actually. Just that one. You know what? We don't have double black. That is not a thing that we have. Move these boots. Send in the 7/4 first strike. Get some removal for the helm. We can shoot the creature. They can re-equip it, but they'll block. Shoot this thing. Tap this thing. Get Kalitas I've never gotten to use. Pass like that. So yeah, like this deck makes insane board states. I've got some photos on Twitter. If you guys don't follow me on Twitter, check it out. They're from a while back, but I've played this in paper where you're just like, the table is covered in stuff and they all have activated abilities and it's incredibly confusing to remember what to do. Especially when they have like mana involved because you have to leave mana up for everything. Savala, oh yeah, Savala would have got us more cards, but we've got the card draw covered with these two guys. Also, I have one of these in paper, and this gives me a reason to use this. Also, it goes in the other Sisay deck, too, but Yeah, I love this deck. It's just a fun deck to play. See what opponents got for us. Yeah, it's 9 to 5. It's software QA job. I don't know my exact hours yet, honestly, but something in the 9 to 5 range. Kamahl Pit Fighter is your favorite? Well, this is the deck for you then. Uh-oh. When it enters the battlefield under your control, fights up to one target creature you don't control. I'm sure I'm not going to like this. Who's it fighting? Sisay, huh? Well, we'll tap Sisay. Get something cool? What are we getting? Let's get Tariel. Never get to use Tariel. I don't know how much longer this game's actually going to go, but we have already started to overwhelm our opponents with weird stuff. Why do we really not have a second black mana? Jegantha could make black mana. Opponent's going to try to equip that over there. Oh, wow, we can't shoot that. This only does 3 damage. And this only kills legendary things. That doesn't have haste. Yeah. Oh, yep, all right. Opponent's going to make it interesting for us. Well, that being the case, shoot that. They'll get a Thorn Mammoth. Who are they taking down? Oh, they get 2? Tell me they get 2. The Chemister, not great. And the Pit Fighter. Oh. Turn off auto yields. Nature's Lower. Shoot this guy at the end step. Tap that for black. Use the Path of Ancestry. Make black. Oh, so Danny checked on the ruling of the Lich earlier. It said because it's under his control, it still triggers. But he's also double checking that answer. When am I playing Liesa again next? I don't know. I've gotten some requests for that one. I might try to sneak it in. I've been really busy trying to get caught up on Patreon decks. Still got about 8 to go. Leave all that mana go. Hopefully soon. It's been very popular. People like it. It's also really fun. I like playing it, so I would like to play it again very soon. Tails lost the flip. Ooh, a Stoneforge Mystic. I forget what that even gets, but what are we getting? We could get a Kalitas and just kill it. We don't have triple black though. Whoops. Probably should have got some mana for that. Vona? Yeah, just get Vona. Cast Vona. Let's see. We can get like Tariel. Tariel's cool. White and black. Boots over to... Nope, that's not where they need to go. Boots over to Vona. Use a Mana Crypt. Shoot that. Boots over to Tariel. Go to combat. Swing with these two. Probably could have sent like, we could have sent a little more. One more turn, we'll have it. Arcanus. There's some stuff. Bayou Aura Shards. We don't have enough white mana to cast the Stoneforge. We'll just save it. Seems fine. Pass turn. Opponent needs a lot of stuff. Oh, we could have used Tariel before we untapped. Oops. Chromatic Orrery would be absurd right here. Yeah, it probably would be. Probably would. You know what? I should put that in the deck because that would actually solve the mana problem. So I'll have to pick one of those up. I just haven't messed around with it because it's relatively new. It's a newer card, and just I got so overwhelmed by cards in the last year that it was hard to stay on top of stuff. But yeah, it would be really sweet in this deck because it fixes the Jegantha mana problem, the color problem. You have an old Captain Sisay deck with Paradox Engine still in it? Yeah, that deck was insane. Still very good. It's still a very good deck without it, but it's just not. It's not like turn 2 CEDH insane. As far as I know, I haven't seen like the craziest possible builds of it lately, but you can do some really cool things. What's opponent got? Craterhoof Behemoth. Okie dokie. Craterhoof Behemoth, make another Craterhoof Behemoth. That's like actually not that bad. That's actually a pretty good amount of damage. There's one. Oh, they forgot to equip it. Oh no. All right, we'll just tap this thing then. Oh, we'll wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They could have a rift. That would be not great. Saying GG. Think we got it. Tap Tariel. Target opponent. Get a creature at random. Oh, it's a Consecrated Sphinx. That one's insane. Brings it back to our turn. Mana crit. For it to be CEDH, it needs to be very stacksy. Yeah. I mean, I don't mind playing stacks in CEDH. I don't generally play it outside of that, but for the most part. There's a Fumigate. Go to combat. Send it all. Hope we don't get blown out. Okay, the judge got their second opinion. It is correct that he loses to the Lich because Danny controlled the enchantment, not the player that was exiled from the game, or the player that lost the game. Very interesting. And down we go, Redemption with Tap Creature Tribal. Wow, that middle game was pretty awful. Even this one was pretty rough for 8 or 9 turns. Took us a while to actually find some stuff that mattered. That's unfortunate, but anyway, like I said many times now, this is the final stream. No more streaming. Regular content will continue. The time of day of the release might change. I don't know, just depending on my work schedule. We'll see how that goes. But I want to thank everyone that's tuned into this stream, tuned into any of my previous streams. Really appreciate the support. I'm very excited to start my new job and, have financial security and all that good stuff. So anyway, thank you guys so much. If you do want to help support the channel in any way, of course, Patreon is always there, or, comment, like, subscribe on the videos. That helps as well. So anyway, can't say thank you guys enough. And I hope you all have a good night and take care.